The internet. You are on it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Hannah. How are you all doing?
I'm Jake.
Um,
We need to get a producer.
that'd be nice. Just someone to sit in a chair and click buttons so you don't have to.
I would love that. That's my ideal way of life.
I just have to pull.
Is someone else clicking my buttons for me, my internet buttons?
Check stuff.
You may think that sounds easy, and you're like, I work a 49-hour-a-week job doing manual labor. To that I say, that's capitalism's fault, not mine. You know, I don't think I should be blamed for that. I don't think my laziness should be something that you poo-poo. I think you should celebrate it. I think it should be something that all of us aspire to. Frankly, I'm following the American dream by finding someone else to click buttons for me, because
You need to be the Cogsley to someone else's George
I
Jetson.
don't want this to be tone. I don't know. I don't like that. What if they're looking for tone? What if the aliens come and they're looking for people with toned fingers?
Why are they looking for people with toned fingers? They're the
I
ones.
don't know.
They're
Sounds
the
like
ones.
delicious.
They do the probing. They are not looking to be probed.
How do you know they probe?
They probe.
How do you know they probe?
That's an alien thing. They probe.
That's propaganda. What if they're more about the fingers?
Okay.
What if that's their thing?
Anyway,
don't
welcome.
know.
Welcome to another Address the Nation. Tonight we're going to be, of course, dealing with various topics of current events. For those of you who didn't see, I actually started my transition fund on GoFundMe. There's a link to it in the description. That's what that thing's called, if you want to donate to that at any point. Of course, as per usual, Super Chats, we'll get to those as they come.
Indeed.
Other than that, I don't know. What have you been up to, Jake?
Working. I did a Sunday service this morning
How was that?
with
How was Arian?
That sounds like a church thing. So I do a podcast on Twitch in the mornings on Sundays with Arian Foster, aka Bobby Fino, and we talk about all sorts of stuff. Last week we talked about. We just sort of meander, but there ends up being a topic. Last week it ended up being happiness. The broad definitions of happiness, including but not limited to, we shouldn't scold people that find happiness in finding other people to press their buttons. Kind of literally, the idea that we put value on people based on how much labor they put out.
Okay.
Right? There's virtue in breaking your body for hourly work, which there isn't, but
Sure.
Propaganda. And so stuff like that. We got into sexual health. We've been into pooping, the use of the N-word, the Second Amendment, presidential. We go all over the place. Spirituality.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a good time. So if you're into that, go to twitch.tv/actualjake, where I also do politics and corn and stuff. We have I just got a new setup for that. And it's absolutely adorable. There's animated corns, and they sway in the wind like corn stalks. And Darwin's there, he's being a dog. And we also, I have milestones. I have a thing called a stream boss. So as people subscribe or donate, basically the stream boss has hit points, and every donation hurts the stream boss. And then if you last hit it, kind of like a video game, you get to be the next stream boss. And so for milestones, 1,500 hit points, 1,800 and 2,000 hit points, we put a pride flag up for whoever that stream boss is, if they are a member of the LGBT community, or if they just want to shout out a community. And I have most of the flags from a very talented artist named Zach. Who's
cool.
Fantastic, and a lot of people are having a good time with that. So
Okay.
How old are we? You're 26, 5?
25.
You're 25?
I'll be 26 in March.
And I turned 31.
Yeah. Oh God, you're so old.
I guess so. You're about as old as I was when we started now.
That's disgusting.
Which means that, consider how young you were
Yeah.
when we began. So all the crazy things you said are dismissed by your young status.
Anyway.
Gosh, you darn whippersnappers.
I've been working on the Elon Musk thing we did. Patrons, look out for that. That'll be out in the next day or so.
Are you doing both parts at the same time, or?
Well, the first part will come out when it's done, but I'm going to start the second one right after.
I see what you're saying.
They'll both be out next week.
We're going to have 3 or 4 parts at this point, right? Because we finish.
I'm guessing 3.
Yeah.
I'm guessing 3.
So
for those of you who don't know.
I do suggest doing the patron thing. We are putting out a lot of content for that. You're going to get 3 exclusive... it's part of a series, but 3 exclusive videos right now on Patreon that I think... What was the runtime? 45 minutes to an hour? Like
on the first one, it was about half an hour. The second one, probably about the same. I don't know.
If all of you gave us $1 towards the Patreon, we could cancel the GoFundMe.
Anyway, so I guess let's get to the first topic.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Maybe the first topic should be this instead.
Okay.
Jeffrey Petron said Jake is all malarkey. But did you see this?
Did I see what?
Did you see Joe Biden's bus?
Oh my god, I did!
And his political, like, this is his...
malarkey.
No malarkey is his fucking change tag. Like, that's his big... campaign, like I'm with her is objectively better than this.
It's the opposite of trying to get in touch with the youth. He's trying to get in touch with people who were buried yesterday.
It's so bad. It's so no malarkey. Did you see him suck his wife's finger too?
Oh god. Why?
Did you not?
No.
Look it up. Joe Biden finger. Just type those words in. She was talking and she's waving her hands around. And she sort of, like, goes by his face while she's at the podium, and he kind of, like, dodges it, and then her hand comes back, and he nibbles on her finger. Ah! You see the picture of his wife's finger?
Oh, that's a full-on chomp. That's a...
Well, I don't know why you're showing me. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's in there.
The fact that he's wearing a baseball cap makes it worse. It's like he's Captain America and Captain America 2, and he's trying to be incognito Biden, nibbling on fingers. That's his version of the gray cowl from Elder Scrolls. No one will recognize me if I wear this hat.
Doesn't Chris Evans understand that his chest is a dead giveaway?
I don't know. It's a thing that a lot of the Marvel characters in those movies wear that. It's almost it's a running joke at this point. I think Paul Rudd made light of it in Ant-Man and the Wasp. He's like, we just look like ourselves at a baseball game.
Oh, did he? Yeah. I don't remember a lot about that movie.
No, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp is the perfect kind of thing that if it came out a couple of years later would have been a fine Disney Plus. Push it out onto Disney Plus.
Yeah, it wasn't worth I waited for Netflix, but like
Ant-Man and the Wasp are the Marvel movies you take your like 5-year-old to see.
Yeah, it's definitely for the kids.
A little bit younger audience, even more so than the other Marvel.
I mean, the stakes are even a lot lower.
Yeah,
and then they have like a broad like all the universe stuff that they use in the.
Anyway, so, the first story we're going to be talking about, Utah. Did you read any of these, by the way? I know I sent them to you.
I had encountered some of them outside of when you sent them to me.
Okay. Utah substitute told 5th graders that homosexuality is wrong. Here's what happened, and I'll read a little excerpt.
Substitute.
Yeah. When you're a substitute teacher, you're supposed to come in and, like, put video into the probably, they used...
A VCR? Was that a VCR?
When I was in school, they used VCR tapes.
When I was in school, they used DVD players,
wow.
So wow.
Hemlock apparently had a higher AV budget than, no, they had the Bill Nye tapes still.
I mean, maybe when I was in 8th grade, we watched Roots on tape.
Yeah, I do.
And,
we also watched Roots.
And sorry to say, how seriously it was social studies. How seriously that teacher took the whipping scene, and he was like, "Nobody laugh," so everybody laughed because he's so defiant. I mean, and it's like, it's awkward, and so he said, so like all the kids are like uncomfortable, and he's like being super serious. One person laughed, it broke the dam.
It's very of the time.
Yeah.
It's not shot amazingly.
I think Roots should be remade. I
they
think
did
they
a
could
remake.
do a...
They did a remake.
No, I mean like today. Like
no, they did a
is it
remake
recent?
like 3 years ago.
Oh, is it shit then?
Yeah, I heard it wasn't very good. They should do a remake, but make it good.
Well, no, I think the story of, because that's like a true story. I think that story, like 12 Years a Slave, has like the perfect tone for that.
Sure.
I don't know. That's good shit. But they
it's very 70s, 80s TV show budget.
I think at the same time Chappelle's Show had put out a bit about it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this substitute, this was during Thanksgiving or right before Thanksgiving. I assume maybe the teacher was either sick or they had to go to a family thing early, so there was a substitute, and this is a 5th grade class, and it took time to be like, what are you thankful for this year?
5th grade.
Oh boy. Some of the kids said turkey and mashed potatoes. In fairness, mashed potatoes are delicious.
5th grade. How old is that? So
right before middle
kindergarten,
school.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish.
10? Okay. I'm very proud of these kids for what they did, though. One girl mentioned her dog. Another student joked about not having to go to school over the holiday. Everyone's that kid, I guess.
Case the Mondays. That guy's gonna be fun at parties later on.
One boy's response was a bit more serious. I'm thankful that I'm going to finally be adopted by my 2 dads.
That's adorable.
Students later said that the substitute snapped, "Why on earth would you be happy about that?" For the next 10 minutes, she lectured 30 kids in the class about her own views on how, quote, homosexuality is wrong, end quote, and 2 men living together is a sin. She looked at the boy, too, and told him, "That's nothing to be thankful for." 3 girls asked her to stop multiple times.
Well, I'm glad it turned out when we lived together it wasn't gay.
Yeah.
What a relief.
Yeah. 3 girls asked her to stop multiple times, but she continued, so they walked out of the room and got the principal.
The fucking 10-year-olds fucking they're like, homophobia's bad.
I like these kids.
That.
And this is in like this is in Utah too.
Oh, it wasn't
by the
Colorado?
way.
I was gonna make a joke about how they were all high anyway, but no, that was bro, you're killing my vibe. Like, no, Utah's like heavy Mormon country too. That's actually fucking dope.
Yeah.
Does it say where in Utah? Where was it?
It says
like Provo. Who's gay? Not me. That's for sure.
Cedar Hills, Utah.
Yeah. I've been in Utah one time and it was horrifying. It was like driving down a Mordor cliff into a town. Because Salt Lake City is at the base of like all, and you have to drive into and over the mountains. Horrifying. Did not appreciate it.
As the substitute was escorted out of the building, she was still arguing, trying to make her point. The boys' fathers say they were told by school officials.
Wait, why, Jeffrey? Why did you talk about Chloe for the Zoomer comment?
She also
that's fine. I have hope in the Zoomers. That's fine. Undo that.
She also tried to blame our son, said one of the boys' dads, Louis Van Amstel. Louis Van Amstel is peak gay dad name. Good for him.
Louis Van Amstel?
What a classy guy that guy must be.
Jeffrey, phone fucked up. Sorry, Chloe. You're fine. It was a mess up.
And she told him that it was his fault that she went off. The incident occurred last week at Deerfield Elementary School in Cedar Hills, which sits in the northern part of Utah County. Van Amstel and his husband, Josh, said administrators called them immediately after it happened. At first, their son, who was 11 years old, didn't want to talk about it and didn't want to go to get the substitute in trouble. Oh, poor kid. Too nice to know that the person's
adorable.
an asshole. The school pieced the story together from multiple student accounts. The incident is now under investigation. Alpine School District spokesperson David Stevenson said he cannot speak about personnel issues, but noted appropriate action has been taken. So I assume that substitute will not be going
to gay space jail.
They will not be working at that school district ever again, and hopefully word gets out and they do not find employment in any position of power over children ever again.
I've been a student teacher. We got more respect than substitute teachers. So, I mean, like, I don't know. It's substitute teachers. You have a strange gig, right?
Yeah.
You gotta come into a strange place, command the room, not fuck up the lesson, make sure all the kids are safe, and then, like, preserve a certain level of normalcy for when the regular teacher comes back. That's your job.
Yeah.
That's the whole gig. It's not to, and, like, maybe have fun. Like, enjoy your time. Because if kids report back positively that, like, they're having a good time, the likelihood that you're kept on as a long-term sub,
someone they call first,
and when they have openings, a lot of schools hire from within, they say, right? So they're looking for people like this if you want a full-time job but can't find one. I don't know what you were thinking when you're like, the gays are bad. Maybe they're Mormon. Because there's lots of them in Utah. Maybe they usually sub at Mormon schools, and for some reason they thought this was a safe school to say that shit in. But, yeah, not a thing. What's that?
Bug of some sort.
Just fucking, what was that? I was going to say, what is his name?
Mr. Miyagi.
Miyagi. Like 100, like, Japanese and Chinese surnames ran through my head, and all of them were wrong.
Yeah.
So it was just going to sound racist.
Completely untrue. I don't have chopsticks.
That's fair. Have you ever used chopsticks?
Yeah, I can use chopsticks.
You don't seem like a Chinese eater. Well, I don't think we've ever had Chinese together.
I like Chinese food.
What do you get at China places?
Just safe stuff usually. Chicken fried rice, egg rolls, orange chicken.
Sweet and sour chicken?
Yeah. Usually the chicken dishes for the most part. Stuff like that.
I go for orange beef.
I've never had it.
It's basically orange chicken, but beef.
I assumed based on
the
the
name. They're like thinner strips. And stuff. Oh man,
okay.
Crispy beef is underrated. That doesn't happen very often. We don't fry our beef. Today I got a. We went to Harvey's, which is a restaurant down here.
Harvey's is pretty good.
Yeah, and it has safe food for Sarah and cheap or expensive, nice options depending on what you want to do. I just wanted a burger. But I really wanted an Impossible Burger. Have you had one yet?
Mm-mm.
They're just so
good.
Know.
You know, next time I'm getting a burger somewhere, I'll go try that Impossible Whopper. Probably
really good.
Because at least that I have a baseline for like what a Whopper is like, and
Can't
then
tell.
I can.
Can't even tell. It's they're so good. Like I mean I got mine with blue cheese and bacon on it anyway. Yeah. But like I'm not a vegan. I just like it better than beef.
Sure.
Like in that way. Sean Pritchard, Hannah's makeup game is on point.
I'm not wearing makeup today. Apparently my face just looks great. Fantastic.
There you are.
I did right before I got here shower and shave and everything. So
usually you rub your face in dog shit before we turn
True.
it on, so which is part of the ritual that we're trying to break.
In fairness, most times that's still an improvement, so...
Dog shit face?
Yeah.
Darwin does that. It's not an improvement on anybody.
I just need to let everyone know I'm coming from very far away. Is that dog shit?
Oh, that is not what I thought you meant. I was like, moaning from like across the field? Why?
Wait, why am I in a field?
I don't know, coming from far away. It felt like you were just... Oh!
like it's a fucking quiet place too, and they're just like...
No, I didn't mean smell. I meant orgasm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was very confused. Yeah, was that...
It's like not an accurate representation.
It's like a 45-year-old mom from Minnesota after her first divorce. This is her first hookup since Gary left. Oh! Yeah.
Oh boy.
This is snowballing somewhere odd. Pseudo, you're not new. You knew where this was going.
Oh boy.
Oh crap! I'm gonna shoot.
Oh God.
Oh crap! Okay. Calling the cows in the field.
Anyway, second story of the evening. I found this. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you betcha. Call me tomorrow, babe. Okay, you betcha.
Left the money for the cab on the chifferobe for
you.
Oh,
shoot your goo.
Oh, Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, God. Wayne Gretzky? Okay.
Second story. Psilocybin for major depression granted breakthrough therapy status by FDA. This is pretty interesting. The US,
Marijuana still a Schedule 1
yes,
drug.
It is. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, and I'm going to tell you right now, psilocybin, which is, for those of you who don't know,
mushrooms.
the active ingredient in mushrooms. It's what makes mushrooms magic.
Wacky.
Yeah. Much more dangerous than marijuana. I have done both. I have had a very bad experience on mushrooms once.
I would imagine that actively losing grip on reality is worse than having a little bit of time dilation, the giggles and munchies.
It's not. This is a misconception. You're not detached from your reality.
You're attached?
You're hyper attached and aware of everything happening, and you see patterns in everything. And
because the way you described it did not seem attached to reality.
Okay.
But
and like
that's how you want to perceive
it.
How
do I put this? The normal like we all have perceptual blinders on us all the time.
Yeah.
Things that we ignore. That's just how the brain works. It has to, because there's so much information being filtered in and out.
Not
of
me.
Your senses.
I hear the screams all over the world like Superman constantly.
So there are certain, sensory inputs or ideas or whatever that are just filtered out. When you take mushrooms, at least if you take enough, all that's gone and all of it's out there. So that's why I think for specific therapeutic use, it can be helpful because it helps break down those mental walls.
People being Sherpa'd on their different experiences are probably best. I hear similar things with DMT, which our body produces naturally, and I guess it's a part of the chemical that allows us to use perceptive abilities that we have, like seeing color and stuff. I could be getting this wrong, but from my brief, look at this YouTube video on DMT, experience on DMT, it seems to be a part of the process of sight and sound and all that shit.
Sure.
And I guess when you take a lot of it, you spend less time being fucking hyper aware of reality, but it feels like the same amount of time from those that have done DMT. I have a few friends that have done DMT. Some of them are medical professionals, so it's good.
Sure.
And they basically have reported back that it's kind of like taking mushrooms, but a little different. They talked about fractals.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not. I know it's different, but on mushrooms, that's something I definitely. It's seeing. How do I put this? I don't know how to explain it. It's ineffable. It was incredibly clear at the time, but when I took the highest dose I ever took, which was not a fun time for the most part.
Is that too much? How much is too much?
Oh God, I don't remember. I haven't done them in a really long time, and I don't plan to do them anytime in the future. Maybe someday, but not anytime soon. That's for sure. But I remember
you had them and you recommended them to me, and then maybe 48 hours go by and you go, never mind, don't do that. And I was like, well, okay, I guess maybe I should.
It depends on how much baggage. I'll tell you one thing. In terms of therapeutic
how much baggage you have?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine.
In terms of therapeutic use, I think it helped me come to terms with me being trans a little bit. I'm not kidding.
That makes sense.
It helped me in the most objective way. Humans aren't objective, but it kind of took away those walls and said hey, you can not move forward with this, but you're not gonna be really happy the rest of your life. That's how it is. You can make excuses, but that's what's going on.
Sure. And
I don't know. So I think for people with a variety of issues, especially things that they're trying to deal with, perhaps trauma they're trying to work through and assimilate. I don't know. I'm not a therapist, but I do think that it's being moved forward in the FDA with trials to see if it can help people. I think it could be a tremendous help. So that's an incredibly positive story.
Shout out to the Surfs who are in chat. Hello. I don't know if it's Lance, if you're still in the Amazon rainforest right now or not, but thanks for hanging out and I love you. Chris Banks says the big danger with any psychedelic is that it can go very badly if you have underlying condition like bipolar disorder or schizoaffective disorder. They can be great used appropriately. I agree. See, it's Lance. I'm in Buenos Aires. That sounds so far away. Congrats. Enjoy your time there, my man. That's super cool that you get to travel around. So, I think one of the reasons, again, this is like a big lefty thing about drugs. Like, conservatives want to, like, stop anyone from doing these types of things because they, no one does them, so it's conservative to conserve what we don't do. And liberals, even liberals, which is like a dirty word now, but progressives and lefties mostly are like, can we, like, legalize this stuff so that when people do it, they're safer? Because you're not stopping me from buying a mushroom kit off of Amazon and just doing it. If I am like, I'm going to do mushrooms, I'm going to go online, I'm going to spend $40 or whatever the fuck it is, and I'm going to get a kit, and I'm going to make mushrooms, and I'm going to I'm going to go fucking nuts.
The laws are very stupid the way they're done anyway. Let's say hypothetically, bold, hypothetically, you wanted to do them.
Yeah, sure.
It's legal to go online and buy...
get all the stuff that leads to them, right?
You can buy, for scientific and microscope purposes, for instance, people who want to look at, mushroom spores under a microscope, there are many websites in which you can go and buy psilocybin mushrooms to use under a microscope, because that is legal, and then there are sites in which you can buy bags filled with grow for mushrooms, that happen to have a little port that you can inject with the mushroom spores, and what do you know, the ones for the microscope, they happen to come in a little syringe, and if you just combine these things and keep them humid and follow instructions you might find on the internet...
Not that you know from first-hand experience.
Of course not. You can...
even though it's entirely legal.
You can get all of these things shipped to your house legally, as long as you don't combine them, you're good. Because if you accidentally combine them...
Like in
you'll get magic mushrooms.
Like in a freak accident, like the Powerpuff Girls. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you don't Powerpuff Girls...
You're carrying them both from the mailbox, and you're like, whoa, trip. But you only want to do half, so it's a half accident.
Not that you know.
No.
Of course. So,
and you want to make sure you shake it accidentally first, too.
Fair. Because you want to...
Because they come suspended in, like, water. Anyway, so, the point is the laws are already very stupid the way they're written. You might as well. Drugs are a medical issue, not a legal issue, although they've been made a legal issue by the government since Nixon. Anyway. So.
If you're sending boxes and they won't get here until mid-December, that should be fine.
Yeah, you already picked up some stuff from the P.O. box.
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of stuff.
And, one of the boxes is fucking huge.
Yeah, it's humongous.
It's
not that heavy.
I'm afraid someone sent us a dead body.
I think it's a pillow.
Or a live body. Maybe it's a body pillow. Maybe someone made a Hannah and Jake.
Why are you apologizing to me?
This is why I don't get mad when people fuck up sometimes. I fuck up my own name sometimes. I'm so used to it.
It was a nickname.
True. Maybe someone made Hannah and Jake body pillows.
I refuse to call you your dead name before it was your dead name.
True. This is, in case anyone notices, on the GoFundMe, by the way. I wasn't sure if I needed to use my legal name when setting it up, and unfortunately my dead name is still my legal name, so if you see it on there, just ignore it. It doesn't exist, despite the fact that it is on there.
It does. You can get that changed pretty soon, huh?
Mm-hmm. The Secretary of State in Michigan just changed their policy. I guess
like $9.
Yeah, you used to have to take your birth certificate, and I think your Social Security card, and go to the DMV to get it changed on your license and stuff, but now you just have to go and fill out a form, basically. Yeah. It's very streamlined now. So thank you, Secretary of State, whose name I don't know, but I very much appreciate it. So anyone out there who lives in Michigan and is in a similar situation to me, there you go, in case you didn't hear about
There's probably other states that are making it easy, too.
Sure.
But, yeah, I was pretty happy because Gretchen Whitmer wasn't my first... She wasn't my first call. I went for Abdul Al-Sayed. Mm-hmm. She's more of a Hillary-crat than... She's not, but she's more of one than...
More
Abdul is like literally like AOC, just like a dude. And so I was a little disappointed she got elected. But it seems to be fine. Seems we're in decent hands. A lot better than we were, let's just say that.
Yes.
Someone asked a question about, like, what do you think about Like to what extent should naturally occurring drugs be legalized? I think every drug should be legalized to some extent, except for things that we deem are just too destructive to the human body to even consider giving in a safe environment, right? So, like, I don't think we should legalize, like, people injecting bleach into their eyes. You know what I mean? So, like...
But the thing is, you still don't ban bleach. You know what I mean?
No, if you want to do bleach in your eyes at home, that's fine, but I don't think a medical professional overseeing that makes it better.
The only things that make sense in terms of laws for, like, protecting people from themselves kind of thing is anyone who's providing any substance like that, and this includes alcohol, to, like, minors.
Oh, yeah, I think age limit...
That's a separate issue.
I'm fine with marijuana being age limited to 21 anyways, if alcohol's going to be 21.
I'm of the opinion that... and I say this as someone who has had many problems with alcohol and recognize how destructive it can be to people who can't handle it and have addictive personalities, or people like me who have, like, issues they're trying to, like, run away from with it. You know what I mean? I still think 18 probably makes more sense. Either that, or you shouldn't...
For alcohol?
Either that, or you shouldn't be allowed to sign up for the military until you're 21.
Well, I would push the military age to 21 for sure. But I think the reason I would keep 18 not the legal drinking age is because you're still in high school sometimes at 18. And I think alcohol is worse than a lot of the drugs we don't, especially marijuana.
I agree.
I think it impairs you. Like, it's illegal to drive while high as balls, but if I absolutely had to and I was high as balls, I could make it way easier than if I was that drunk. You know what I mean?
I agree, but
I'm not doing it. I'm still saying it's unethical.
I
but
agree
I just,
with you, but once you're an adult, I think it's on you to make the decision whether or not you want to put certain things in your body.
100%. Or maybe 18 as long as you've graduated high school or just aren't in high school.
Maybe just to keep it from funneling down.
Right. There's a funnel effect, and like that still happens anyway. Like, frankly, I'd be one of the parents that, like, if you want to drink at my house rather than going somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, I'm more okay with that because I think, like, again, it's kind of the philosophy of, like, if you have someone responsible watching over and someone wants to experiment with a thing that is socially acceptable like that, right? Or even not socially acceptable personally, but, like, you know, it's something that like, I mean, they get beer commercials from fucking 2 years old and they just they're inundated with the idea of drunkenness. Like, cartoons have fucking, you know, those XXX jugs that are getting real drunk on moonshine. Like alcohol is pervasive among the culture, and so I have no problem with a teenager that wants to do it. I don't think they should be able to go buy it themselves. Frankly, maybe you could say that, well, now that's a little slippery slope and they could be preyed upon, I guess. But maybe if it's a parent, you could be like, you know what, it's legal to have one drink or something as a 17, 18, 19, 20
with parental
supervision. One drink.
I think France does that.
Well, France has, like, places. Yeah. I mean, they give wine and shit to the kids. Or
Chris Clark, $2. Your GoFundMe is already over $1,500. Yeah, that's crazy. It's gotten up so much faster than I assumed. Thank you to everyone.
And you're able to use that immediately, right? Like within a couple days.
I believe so. It's going to go in a savings account for
well, that's good.
Medical stuff.
You have been stretching thin recently.
Yeah, it's been real bad. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm doing a GoFundMe for my transition fund for medical stuff. It's in the description if you want to check it out.
South of Grace, thanks for the $2 dues. And right under that's a message, so I'm just going to do the both. The unfortunate issue with military service is so many join it so that they can get a college education. Lowering the age would have to coincide with affordable education. I agree. See, these are all part of sweeping reforms that I think both of us would want.
Yeah.
UK lets you have a single drink at meals if an adult pays for the meal at restaurants. See, that's dope. I'm fine with that. Like, I don't think...
If nothing else, I think that might help teach people... Limits and...
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Like, responsible consumption?
Yes. Not overdoing it, and not just...
Like, I think we need to take the stigma off a lot of these, especially, like, marijuana, especially, like, opiates. Not that they're okay to do that. It's okay if you got addicted and like come get help.
And like, yes, if you're in trouble, please come to this certain place or wherever to get help. So you're not afraid of like getting arrested.
Right. In Australia, it's legal for a minor to drink alcohol as long as they have parental permission. Yeah. See, all that shit. So like, I think it makes the problem a lot worse, especially because you put alcohol on this social pedestal in this country where like it's cool to drink, and like you see the suave gents drinking scotch, and you see like
the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah,
meme.
Right, and I mean beyond that, there are some alcohols that are fucking tasty. It's just a nice thing to have a little bit more of it's not the soda pop thing. It's a little bit more of an acquired taste, and some of the combinations are quite nice.
I find it interesting that they were recently talking about banning, and I think they might have backed off on this, I could be wrong though, the certain flavor of cartridges or whatever for
THC?
Not even those. I don't think it was specifically those. I think it was nicotine.
Juul pods and shit.
Juul pods, which I've never really used nicotine.
I don't do nicotine either.
But if an adult wants a fruity nicotine thing, whatever, because like you go to the liquor store and they literally have like alcoholic soda pop now that's like orange flavor. Like that's marketing to kids.
Not your father's
as
root
much.
beer.
You know what I mean?
They have Mountain Dew stuff. Zero M80 with $5 juice. Thank you so much. You can drink underage with parental supervision in certain states. I did not know that.
Oh, interesting.
Not any place I've been. And if
I think that's still probably federally illegal.
Yeah. Yeah. Cannabis is not. See, it's not that it's addictive in a chemical way that I have ever seen. Maybe high levels of cannabis and THC could be. I guess I'm not gonna say it's not, but I definitely the ritual of it can be addictive.
It's addictive in the same way anything that releases dopamine is.
But biting your nails and stuff is also kind of an addiction.
But you're not gonna get a hangover. You're not gonna get withdrawals if you stop using. You might feel anxious or whatever. But anyway, let's move on to the next story. That's enough drugs, I guess.
Is it enough drugs? We could also talk about the vitamin E acetate.
I don't know what that is.
So the people in vape that are vaping stuff, specifically off-brand THC vape.
Like the knockoff China ones that they were getting, like...
They use it to hold the flavor in that suspended...
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently those are fucking up people's lungs.
Yeah, that's why you gotta, if you're doing that stuff, get it from, like, a state vendor.
Yeah, which, by the way, it's legal in this state. But there's only 3 dispensaries with license in the state right now. They're all in Ann Arbor.
I'm sure it'll expand over the next 5 years.
Not enough drugs.
All right, let's see. Next story. Bill Cosby vows no remorse, expect to serve 10-year sentence maximum. Again, if those of you who haven't followed the Bill Cosby story, what happened is a couple years ago or whatever, he finally got called out by who was the comedian who really got the ball rolling on this? It wasn't Hannibal Buress, was it? No, it was
Hannibal Buress is one of them.
Anyway, certain people started talking about this more, and he did finally get convicted of drugging and sexually assaulting at least one woman. I don't remember if there were. I know there were more, but I don't remember if the conviction was for more than one. Anyway, he was sentenced to 10 years. Which is probably going to be the rest of his life. I'd be very surprised if he ever sees the outside of a jail cell. He's an incredible hypocrite, especially because throughout his entire career, he's been, like, blaming other people and, like, talking shit to other African-American comedians and being like, you're making us all look bad. Pull your pants up. And it's like,
Bill Cosby.
Bill, you're drugging and sexually assaulting women your entire career. What is your fucking problem? America's dad, whatever. Anyway,
Emily LeDuc, thank you for your $2 Canadian dues.
So he was sentenced to 10 years, and he's probably going to serve the entire 10 years because parole is not generally awarded or even considered for sexual assailants if they show no remorse. So he's probably going to serve the whole 10 years. And I assume part of this has to do with he doesn't want to leave his estate open to civil lawsuits, because if he admits, he still has never, I don't think, admitted he's done this out in the open, despite being convicted and the evidence being strongly against him, in the sense that there have been so many people coming forward like, yeah, people have known about this for a long time. And if he were to admit guilt, he would leave his estate open to be sued civilly, and the burden of proof in civil cases is much lower than in criminal cases. In a criminal case, you have to be beyond a shadow of a doubt, basically. There can't be anything open to... What's the specific phrase? I'm forgetting it for some reason.
I don't know.
Basically, there can't be any doubt in your mind that this person could be innocent. Whereas in a civil case, it's on the preponderance of evidence, which just means, like, you're 51% sure this
beyond
thing
a reasonable
happened.
Doubt.
Yes. Beyond a reasonable doubt is criminal. So, anyway, because he doesn't want his estate to get sued by all of the other victims who might not have as strong of a criminal case, but could probably
win a civil case.
Yeah, he's probably not going to admit anything, and he's going to serve all 10 years or die in prison. And something.
Is it like Martha Stewart prison?
I don't know. I don't really care. Still, he's going to spend his time behind bars. Something similar happened to O.J. Simpson in that he, of course, was acquitted, but the family of his ex-wife sued civilly and did win in that case. So it just has to do with standards of evidence in different kinds of cases. And I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about this one. It's just an update on the Bill Cosby thing, and I don't feel bad for him. What a piece of trash. I feel bad for the other people on the Cosby Show who have been affected by this, because that's not their fault. I guarantee they're making almost no money from the show at this point, because no one's going to be showing it anymore.
You don't think? Well, yeah, I guess you're right. They could probably, I feel like I'd watch the Huxtables show where they just kill off the dad.
That show doesn't exist, though, and...
I know, I'm just saying, like, they could probably get those people. They're not a lot of them are that busy anymore,
I guess. Whoever was on A Different World, which was the spin-off of The Cosby Show, they're probably fine, though. I think people are still probably showing that, because Bill's not in it.
I've never seen that.
It was when one of the daughters went off to college, and it was a spin-off of her time in college.
Someone asked, do you plan on addressing the Onision garbage pile?
Oh, yeah.
And I know that you've been...
I've been tweeting about Onision. If anyone doesn't know what's going on with Onision, let me remind you who Onision is. Years ago, he had the viral video, I'm a banana, I'm a banana, I'm a banana, stop! Whatever time, I don't remember, it's been a long time.
Peanut butter jelly time?
No, that was a separate thing.
Oh.
But, recently, he's been getting more and more flack, especially from Chris Hansen. Remember Chris Hansen?
Yeah, he went to prison.
Yeah, it wasn't for, like...
Prison Mike!
Anyway, I'm Chris Hansen
Gruel.
with...
Sandwiches.
Is that a reference to something?
Prison Mike.
I don't know what that's about.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, it's when, it's just an office thing. Remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
He's trying to be hard, and he says they're going to have gruel sandwiches.
Anyway, Chris Hansen's been doing an investigation into Onision, and a lot of his exes have come forward and talked about how he was effectively being a child groomer, and despite the fact that he got to know them when they were minors, he had been grooming them for a sexual relationship like the second they turned 18, and he would travel across state lines to sleep with them. Once some of them, I think, turned 16, which was the legal age in that particular state, which is illegal, by the way. You're not allowed to travel across state lines to sleep with someone just because in that state.
Oh, you're saying sleep with.
Statutory rape. Fine. Anyway, Onision's just been going crazy about this stuff, and if you go to his Twitter, you will see the really gross stuff he's been tweeting.
I feel like, yeah, the tweets have been fucking bananas, not to steal his own meme.
Should I read some
I
of them?
would appreciate if you didn't read any of those.
Okay. Well, if you go to his Twitter, you'll be able to see some of the disturbing things he's been saying.
So
bear in mind, a lot of his audience are minors, which is a part of why this is all an issue, is that his server, I don't know if it was a Discord or if it was something else, he was also having issues there, where there was, like, rampant pedophilia on there in the sense that there were adults trying to hit on young girls.
The fact that he like routinely does the "I'll judge your body" shit,
yeah,
is gross. I've been ignoring the Onision thing. I'm not.
Oh yeah, Psilocybin. Did I tip you off to this? Because yeah, the whole Chris Hansen thing blew my mind. Yes.
So how long have you been on this?
I don't know when did she? I don't remember when Pseudo messaged me about it. We were talking like in the last week or so, and she was like, "Have you
only been a week for you?
Have you seen? This is why I find new narcissist, insane, destructive people get attached to.
This has been going on for like years.
So now my heart is being split between hating Elon Musk and hating Onision. And let me be clear, there's a big difference between...
You're saying Onision and I'm saying Onision. Who's right? I don't know, actually.
Onion. His name is Onion. Either way, I want to make it clear, despite the fact that I hate them both, Elon Musk, while he is a douchebag, is not a pedophile or a child groomer. They're on very different levels. I just hate them both.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to Elon Musk at the end of this.
Onision?
Either way.
Onion cone?
Onision's also been posting kind of crazy... Onision's been posting kind of crazy videos to his Onision Speaks channel.
I feel like that shit is him trying to downplay the...
Maybe it's not helping him if he thinks it's helping him.
Because it doesn't seem like a real breakdown. It seems like seems like, I am an auteur. I am above this. This is comedic to me.
No, but that shit's gonna be the opening of the documentary when that shit gets made.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he thinks he's above it all, and he thinks no one's gonna
apparently
catch him.
His spouse is in on it as well.
Kai.
Whose name is Kai?
Yes. Who is a transgender man, I believe.
I thought Kai was non-binary, but I could be
wrong. I don't know. Repsion has a lot of videos on this if you want to learn more about it as well. Chris Hansen, Repsion has some. There's a bunch of people who have videos on it. So anyway, I guess that's it about Onision. I don't know what else to say other than he's a scumbag. Chris Hansen has said he's in contact with the FBI about it. Hopefully something happens there.
His Patreon got shut off, right?
That is true, yes.
I mean...
For doxing, because he's doxing some of his exes who are coming out and talking about it.
Logan Little. I grew up autistic in a conservative family and became accepting of trans when my friend came out. Feel like both of us are dysphoric, while his is gender, mine is more something else. Thoughts? I couldn't possibly speak on that for you, Logan. But it's probably worth therapy for. That's always helpful. You think he's trying to do a plea for insanity?
Insanity plea can only be used in murder cases, so if that's what he's trying to do, he's even stupider than he acts. You can't plead insanity for anything other than murder. It's called the McNaughton rule, I believe. The insanity plea.
Blair White called him out over predatory behavior a while ago. Don't get me wrong, she can be right about a thing like this. Blair White's dog shit.
Alright, next story.
Y'all got impeachment impact predictions? Is that what we're talking about?
Nah, I didn't get any. This is vaguely about Trump, but it's more about Hong Kong.
Oh.
I don't have a lot to say about impeachment right now because I think it's pretty clear there was impropriety at play going on, and I believe that the House will vote to impeach, but I don't think the Senate, there's zero chance the Senate full of Republicans is going to, they might not
Mitch McConnell has tied an anchor with the Trump brand stamp around his neck. There's no way, like, the implications of all of this broadly reaching implies that there probably should be criminal prosecutions after he's no longer president. Like, that's how fucking bad this is, and it's a really disappointing that a political party in our country that claims to be patriotic would instead of just like still having their guy in the office,
they're abdicating their responsibility to be a check on the executive branch. That's their entire job, and they're not doing it. They're getting in line behind someone who's in their party. It's disgusting.
If you have a Republican senator or House representative that is up for re-election on your ticket this coming November, vote against them. I don't care if you're a Republican. Vote against that Republican. Vote for another Republican. I don't even care. They're dog shit. They're not good. They are doing such a fucking horrible job. I guess I can't believe that John McCain's my fucking benchmark for what a good Republican is in the last 10 years. That's my fucking bar.
And it's literally because he had a pang of conscience right before he died.
I mean, not even that. I mean, I guess in the 2008 election cycle, he had some dignity to him as well. But like even so, ugh. Fucking sad, man. So depressing.
The only difference between Trump and other Republicans is that he actually says the quiet part out loud. Anyway.
Yeah. So
this next article. Trump signs bill backing Hong Kong protesters into law in spite of Beijing's objections. This is basically just, it was voted on that a bill to try and help Hong Kong protesters, and it was signed into law, and I think that's a positive thing. What this bill does, effectively, is that once a year the Secretary of State has to now check in and verify that Hong Kong is acceptably separate from China proper, the way it has been for a very long time. If you don't know, Hong Kong is sort of a little island in and of itself within China, where it's more capitalist and more free and democratic, whereas the rest of China is, of course, under single-party rule. That's what's going on with the protests right now, if anyone hasn't been following it. China is trying to reassert control over Hong Kong, and the people who live there don't want that because the Chinese single-party government is authoritarian, has concentration camps, steals organs from people that they arrest. It's a whole fucking mess, and it's been getting crazy. So, Hong Kong is typically exempted from a lot of the sanctions that the U.S. has been putting on China. So that's an avenue through which goods and services can come through unimpeded. Whereas if the Secretary of State in its once-a-year checkup says, hey, no, it's just part of China now, the sanctions will apply to Hong Kong as well. The second thing this bill does is outlaws U.S. firms from selling non-lethal arms to China outright, so they can't sell like pepper spray, rubber bullets, smoke grenades, stuff that could be used against protesters to China.
So this is good.
Yes.
And Trump signed it.
Yeah.
We did it! We got a good thing to happen.
Yep. So that's nice. I don't have a lot to say about it, other than I just think that's a positive thing overall. Mm-hmm. Good luck to everyone in Hong Kong. Not that anyone there is watching this, but just general, I hope things go well. I don't foresee it going well.
Yeah. Yeah. Trump accidentally did it good. I mean, I gotta say he's probably gonna do a bad soon anyway. I mean, his entire thing is like he's been fucking over everyone domestically. I mean, I can't imagine that this won't eventually translate to that as well. So, I don't know. Maybe he's gonna upset the Second Amendment people. Like, they won't let us send weapons to China?
Yeah.
Those bastards. But, Hong Kong is complicated. It really is. But, I still think he should be impeached. That doesn't necessarily mean I think he should be removed from office. I feel like if he's impeached and it turns out he did a thing that is office removable, you do it. Then you do it.
I think he's done multiple things.
I think so too. I'm pretty confident
that are impeachable offenses.
I'm not saying just remove the guy from office without investigating, though.
I've
never been for that.
On emoluments alone, he's fucking.
I'm 100% with you. I'm just saying, like, the impeachment process, Republicans they freak out. Like, it's the process, but like, if your guy is clean, if your guy is fine, if you have the best goddamn president and he's making America great again, then you should not be worried at all about an impeachment process. He should come out squeaky fucking clean, and it should be just fine. But yeah, he definitely has multiple offenses by which he would lose his seat, which will never see the light of day until after he's out of office. Hopefully, the big hope is that either this election he loses immediately, and he can be investigated. Because I think no matter what, you have to address this. You have to be like, someone used the presidency for fucking profit. This is fucked up. We can't allow this because it's going to become a playbook by which billionaires expand their wealth, or millionaires. So either way, it has to happen. Best case scenario is he just loses this next election. Second best case scenario is a lefty gets in after the next 4 years. Worst case scenario, a Republican wins after that, and then he never has to answer for crimes ever again. And they stack the courts because Ruth Bader Ginsburg will be dead.
Yep.
There's a 100% chance she's dead within 8 years, right?
Yeah.
And that sucks because she's dope.
So, the last story, not even a story. Did you notice the last story is I just put a picture in the chat?
Yeah, you did. So, the name of this stream, is something about Cybertruck Monday. Because you get it, because Cyber Monday's coming up tomorrow. And, so, Cybertruck happened, and I have multiple questions about it.
So, for those of you, everyone's had to have seen this clip at some point.
There's a 0% chance you haven't. You're on the internet.
So, last week, Elon Musk and Tesla unveiled their long-awaited Cybertruck, the new electronic truck.
Oh, yeah.
From Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I guess I'll just, in case for some reason you haven't seen a picture of this thing because you've been on a desert island or because you're blind but recently you've been miraculously healed and you've yet to see it and this is the first stream you've watched since then.
Congratulations, by the way. Look at it. It's like a Tonka truck.
Very ugly truck. I mean, aesthetics are subjective, so if you like it, great, good for you, I'm happy for you. But I think it's fair to say it's polarizing on a good day. On a normal day, I think most people dislike it.
Okay. What? First of all, they threw a fucking steel ball at the windows and they immediately broke. They're supposed to not break.
Elon Musk says on stage, these windows are bulletproof. You can shoot them point blank with a 9mm and they will stop it. So they have a guy walk up with a small metal ball.
Well, it's like a baseball size, but yeah.
And kind of lightly chuck it at the window.
Which is not a gun, for the record. That's not how fast steel bullets come out of a gun.
The mass is higher than a bullet, but the speed is exponentially lower.
Do we think the mass is higher than a bullet? I actually don't know. Mass is different than weight.
If it has more material in it, the mass is higher. It has more material.
Like density.
You think that a bullet is incredibly dense compared to a metal ball? I don't think so.
Well, I don't know.
I guess I haven't felt the ball, but
like to ratio, and then you have to say with the speed. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna assume the ball has more mass. It's a solid metal ball of some sort. Chucks it at the window. It immediately it doesn't fall apart, but it shatters basically. And you know how
it
car
didn't
windows
go through.
Elon Musk is like, it's fine. That's weird. Try it on the second window. Goes to the second window, throws it even softer. That one also shatters immediately. Now,
half mass times velocity squared. Whoops.
I'm not a car person, per se.
Neither is Elon.
But if someone says to me, these windows are bulletproof, and they chuck a piece of metal at them at sub-bullet speeds, and they almost shatter, and it looks like it's about to go all the way through, I find the claims dubious. It's since come out, by the way, that they built the Cybertruck prototype in 2 weeks. So, unsurprisingly, it didn't go great.
You know what I think this is?
What?
It's Elon just doing publicity shit to try to get that stock to maintain a certain level I think
he failed because it went down $30 the next day. Let me look and see if it's recovered.
Like, it just is so bad. Also, by the way,
it is not recovered in any way, shape, or form.
He said it's made out of steel, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason that when you crash a car, there's a crumple zone.
He says that there aren't crumple zones. He says that it's a solid exoskeleton, basically.
That's not good for flesh people inside at high speeds.
It also doesn't have mirrors, which you legally need. It's a federal regulation that your car needs mirrors. It
doesn't have mirrors? I didn't even notice. I couldn't look past the fact that it was just a hunk of brick.
It didn't have mirrors. Also, there was a demonstration in which they took a regular truck door from some other brand, and then the door of the Cybertruck, and a guy comes up with a hammer. If you look at it, it's a dead blow hammer. For those of you who don't know what a dead blow hammer is, it's sort of like a rubber mallet, except it's a big sledgehammer. The middle is still metal, but the ends where you're supposed to hit with it are like rubber or some other soft material that deaden the blow of the hammer, so it absorbs a lot of the force, so it doesn't do as much force. So when he hits let's say it's a Ford truck door, I'm not sure, but whatever kind of door it is, he hits it, and you can watch the video yourself and slow it down. He hits it with the side, so the metal part is what dents the door. And then when he goes over to hit the Cybertruck, not only does he hit it much lighter, again, go watch it for yourself, he hits it with the dead blow end, so it's not doing damage, and a lot of the force is being absorbed by the dead blow ends of the hammer. It's a con! He's conning you!
There are people that have purchased that truck already.
Here's the thing. I think this is also a way for him to, in the next quarter, show investors, look at how many people have pre-ordered the Cybertruck. Please give us money to invest in us, like another $1 billion or whatever, like he did last year, so we can move forward with production of the Cybertruck, and then he'll take that money and do other stuff with it and just keep the doors open and the lights on until he gets his payout. So, normally, the Tesla cars in the past have had like $1,000 deposit you have to put down. So you're like, I'm definitely buying this car. Or at the very least, you have to be wealthy enough that $1,000 is nothing to you. This time...
Keemstar.
Sure. This time...
Not sure he did that.
The deposit is only $100. And it's fully refundable if you decide not to. So, Elon's now highly inflating these numbers and acting like each one of these pre-orders means a sale, despite the fact that it's only $100 refundable. And I'm not saying $100 is nothing. I wouldn't put $100 down on something I didn't want. But the car isn't even 2 years... It's 2 years out from when they expect, which in Elon time is like 5 years. So... it's just another maddening day in the Elon Musk world. And I don't know.
If I see... You remember that there was like a Chevy truck that came out in like the early 2000s that was like really round and bubbly?
Yeah, I remember that.
This is that.
They used it as a pace car for a while.
Sure. Yeah. This is that. No one liked that.
Yep.
There's like 4 of them on the road.
This is like a Pontiac Aztek fucked a DeLorean.
Yeah.
And it was
not good.
If you like the car and if you have the disposable income to get one, great. I really hope you enjoy it. I'm not going to judge anyone for their superfluous purchases. I just find it bewildering as someone who is a skeptic of this company and its CEO. It's like Elon has gotten rid of everyone who said no to him, and this is what we have left. This is pure unfiltered Elon. That and the stupid stainless steel rocket that just blew up.
If he is still with Tesla over the next 5 years, there's a 100% chance we see him walk out on stage in like a Ellen Ripley mech suit, right?
$5 deposit for your own
mech suit. So how would that what would that run on? Unmitigated narcissism?
Oh, okay.
He's Lucasing? He's always been Lucasing.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about Elon. When I saw that, I was like, he's kidding, right?
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way this is like the real truck. He's gonna be like, it's a joke, and then the real one's gonna come out. Nope.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just garbage. What's worse? Nick Fuentes or Elon Musk?
Oh, Fuentes.
What's worse?
Again.
What's worse? Nick Fuentes or Elon Musk in a mech suit?
Oh, am I fighting them, or are we talking moral?
No, from an ethical standpoint, who should we allow to exist?
Elon.
Okay, alright, hold on. No, it's gonna get worse. What's worse? Elon Musk in a mech suit driving a Cybertruck, or Nick Fuentes?
The Nazi's always gonna win who's worse.
What's worse?
Because he's a Nazi.
Elon Musk in a mech suit driving a Cybertruck that time travels back in time and he doesn't kill baby Hitler, or Nick Fuentes?
Probably Elon at that point, because he's
there.
allowing the Nazis to...
We got there.
Again, as I've said before, Elon is awful, and he's a symptom of a system I think is broken, and the fact that he is a billionaire, and I don't think that should exist. But it's all of our faults for allowing these narcissistic man-children to run our society. It's all of our faults. He's a symptom. He's a symptom I hate. Like when you get a cold, he's the stuff he knows. But he's not a Nazi. He's not a fucking... I don't know.
I like the Tesla truck, says Obi-Wan. It just needs wings, painted white with blue accents, and an anthropomorphic fox at the helm. That's beautiful. Do a barrel roll! What's worse? Elon Musk in a mech suit driving the Cybertruck, or Elon Musk in a mech suit driving a Cybertruck that does a barrel roll?
I kind of like the barrel roll.
I kind of do, too.
Because if that happens... No, I'm not going to
He's
say that.
dead in a crash.
Because there's no way...
There's no way without crumple zones he survives the wreck.
By the way, any time... If a pedestrian is ever hit by the Cybertruck, they're going to die immediately because of how pointy it is, right? Think about it. They're going to...
You know what, though? You're at no... The thing about the Cybertruck is, though, as you drive it, if there's like deer running across the road, you will obliterate the deer.
True.
So you're fine if you live in on the way to my... Okay, can we talk about Thanksgiving?
Okay.
Let's talk about Thanksgiving.
Oh, how was that with your... Oh, boy.
Okay. So, first of all, what did you do? Did you do anything at all? Did you hang out with your mom or anything? Grandparents or anything?
Nah, I spent the day at home and I cooked Thanksgiving food and ham and
Did you make a
cheese
whole ham?
Yeah, it was pretty easy, and I did not like a whole.
Well,
I don't need that much ham. Enough for like a meal between me and my roommate who had to work anyway. But she was gonna eat some too. But I made ham and mac and cheese and mashed potatoes and cornbread and brownies.
Sounds good.
It
How long did it take you? You don't usually cook, so.
3 or 4 hours.
Therapeutic. Like cooking is nice.
I'm not a huge I respect that that's something you do and enjoy. It's not something that particularly.
It's not for everybody.
But I sat there and I watched Disney Plus while I was doing stuff, and it was fine.
you don't have to be a gourmet cook. You know enough to survive, and that is what I expect of humanity. Okay, this is my most conservative take: is learn how to fucking cook just a little bit.
Sure.
That's me and my Trump bumper sticker. Learn how to cook. Lib or whatever, I don't know. So this Thursday, I went to my brother's house, and great guy, love him to death. And his I guess fiance is the thing I should be saying, and not girlfriend.
Yeah.
Bless her heart. That's what the Southern people say when they don't want to be mean, right? Bless your heart. Like when they see an ugly baby, oh, bless his heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my version of seeing an ugly baby, was looking at this meal. How do I say this in ways that aren't, like, super mean? This was the most uninspired, like, coulda used a quick Google. Why did you invite us over to your house if you weren't prepared to actually make food?
Oh, no.
Like, just let me do it. Just let me do it. You want people over your house? They just got a house or whatever in the middle of the woods and shit. The reason I brought this up is because on the way, I was making the Cybertruck truck, we saw 4 dead deer on the side of the road on the way there. That was That was my Edgar Allan Poe, these are the signs you should turn around things. The company was fine, okay?
Sure.
We had good conversation, football was on, we watched some stuff, it was fine. We left and went home and watched some shit or whatever. Like, it wasn't, dinner was at like 2, if you can call that a dinner. I do not, okay? I don't understand midday, unless you have multiple family get-togethers and everybody, we're just like scheduling around each other. I don't understand the midday dinner.
You know why?
I'm fine if you get there at 2, but dinner is like 5.
I like a 3 o'clock Thanksgiving. That way you get the food, you spend time with people,
and then the fuck out.
And you get the fuck out. You take leftovers, and then you have real dinner at home.
See, I'd rather say like you can come around too. Food's gonna be at I like it after the football game, which is why I like around 5, because I like the football. And then you can hang out and leave. With my mom's family, that was always great because there's like fucking hundreds of people, that literally like 100 people, pretty multicultural, lots of different foods there. It was always fun. This was what's the whitest thing you can think of? It was Karen energy.
I was gonna say
strong Karen
when you
energy.
said that, the first thing that popped in my head was Alan Thicke. So
Alan Thicke. I don't understand lunch. Oh, I understand lunch. Why are you calling it dinner when it's not dinner? Alan Thicke.
Yeah.
He's dead. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Good guy, Alan Thicke.
Now we only have his son.
Robin. Anyway, so I went and I'm a pretty goddamn good cook, okay? I'm not like super chef Bobby Flay or anything. I think he's good, right? But god damn it, like I give a shit. Like I brine a turkey. It's not hard. I want it to taste good. Like cooking for people is like a thing. You're nourishing people. It's part of hospitality, and it's part of like this. Don't just, if you request, and they literally requested it, just try. If it's dog shit, that's fine, but try, right? It was a turkey, oven, salt, pepper. Mashed potatoes were boiled potatoes in a bowl, mashed, nothing in them.
Without butter and
nothing in them.
Or
nothing in
milk or cream or anything?
Nothing in them.
Okay.
Corn out of a can into a bowl.
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes, which most people aren't big fans of. Boiled sweet potatoes out of a can with water. The whole thing, including the water, gets poured into a cereal bowl, and then she slices open the top of a brown sugar bag, you know, the really cheap ones, and she sprinkles a little brown sugar in it and stirs it a little bit with a spoon. It's sweet potato soup or some shit. Like Pillsbury biscuits. There was zero effort at all. Like, if you try and fail, I will respect you. We'll go get Chinese. I'll pay. But if you just give me your bullshit, I was so disappointed. And like, just let me cook it then, or let mom cook it, or let someone like it's one, we don't hang out very often, and it was just like, and everybody you could tell was just like, thanks.
Next year
I made ballin' ass mac and cheese though, and that was and by the way, no leftovers of the mac and cheese.
Next year, invite them to your house and show them up.
I literally told Sarah while I was cooking, I'm like, I'm gonna make the best fucking side dishes because I know that's all I'm gonna have to count on. Before I even went over there, I didn't think it undercut my low expectations. This all sounds super mean, but like, it was, I guess you'd have to know her to understand what, like, she was just so, like, assertive, like, we're doing it at our house. We're gonna do Thanksgiving. It's like, you've stolen my happiness. God damn it. God damn you to hell. My mom even got adventurous and, like, made, like, candied bacon-wrapped water chestnuts, which were pretty good. Like, she doesn't usually get out there and, like, experiment with stuff. Like, she was even, like, doing some stuff. She made, like, homemade spinach dip and shit. I was very impressed by her effort. Whew. Oh, boy.
That's unfortunate.
I felt like calling me white is a disservice to their whiteness. I felt so alien. This is how minority people feel when like they're dating a white person and they go over. It's like tater tot casserole. That's how alien I felt in this space.
That's funny.
Yeah, please just give me the holidays. I'll pay for it. Bring drinks. I don't want to. I'll come on. Forever and ever. I like cooking. You apparently do not. And like,
it's a means to an end.
I guess.
For me.
Well, no, I know, but that's what I mean. Like, you're not saying I'm gonna do Thanksgiving. No. Everyone come. Like, that's the difference, right?
Sure.
You understand? Like, do I want to put the effort in? If you did, I feel like if you were like, you know what, I want to feed everybody. You'd Google shit and you'd look it up and you'd try.
Even I put fucking butter and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if you fail, even if you burnt the fuck out of something, right? And it was just like, ooh, gross. Everyone would still go, damn it, but you tried, and I appreciate that. I don't know. It was just, it felt like. By the way, I low-key like tater tot casserole from time to time.
Oh, I do. I like it a lot.
Who doesn't like? Well, it depends on what's in there, but yeah. Who doesn't like cheese and potatoes? Maybe she was anxious about becoming officially part of the family. She's been here for 5 years. She's fine. Anxious. In one word, how would you describe the 2010s? Nightmare. Hey, congratulations, Were Kitty. You deserve it. Making the best damn... Mashed potatoes are unsung heroes. If you make a good mashed potato, you can be counted on. There are some good-ass mashed potatoes. They're just always good. It's always like... It's what I wanted. Plenty of the janky stuff is actually good, but is like junk. Oh yeah, 100%. There's lots of junk stuff that everybody likes, right? Like, who doesn't like I don't know, like oops all berries or something like that, or it's just like dog garbage. Like, you would give it to the dog, but like it's still good. Hot Pocket insides. What's the worst thing you like that isn't a Hot Pocket? Let's see. What's the?
Can we think?
Okay, don't say the tacos either.
No, let me think about it.
I literally made just like tortilla chips and cheese in the oven the other day for dinner.
Probably.
Well, that's not that bad. I'm just saying, like it's not like I eat this bougie ass food all the time.
This is gonna be depending on your. I like making peanut butter and jelly with Fritos in it, with chili cheese Fritos in the sandwich.
Grape jelly?
Yeah. It's a nice.
That is the worst thing.
It's a nice contrast between the sweetness.
I'll say a turkey sandwich with Doritos in it is probably up there with one of the worst things I like, but that at least thematically makes a little sense. Yeah. That sounds like high food.
No, that's just me at baseline. I think it's delicious.
Baseline. That sounds just terrible.
Yeah.
You know, things are sandwiches and box mac and cheese. Yeah,
but
Gabriel, here's the thing.
I put gravy on my mac and cheese once the other day.
Gravy on mac and cheese is fun. And that sounds good.
That just about changed my life. So, yeah.
Didn't you rant about PB&J? PB&J are dessert sandwiches, and if you make them for your children, that's child abuse. Canned chili and Fritos. I think I'm doing walking tacos for Cornsgiving, a walking taco bar.
Okay.
Bring something, though. Whatever it is, it has to have corn in the name or ingredients. That's it.
Have we selected a date?
The 7th. It's in the chat that you're a member of.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That's why we have these things.
People have been talking about Pokemon a lot recently, so I'm not tuned into the Pokemon world.
Jeffrey Petrone. Hannah is a lady of fine taste and culture, I see.
I'd be the worst housewife. I'd be terrible. Oh, what's for dinner? I made some, PB&J and I threw some fucking Fritos in it.
That's... Ketchup on mac and cheese it's okay-ish. Ketchup is... I like ketchup sometimes. Sometimes I get fries just to eat ketchup. But I gotta feel really tomatoey. Today I felt very tomatoey. I had tomato bisque, I had a Bloody Mary, and I had fries with ketchup. Real tomatoey. A through line
That
of
would
tomatoes.
destroy my stomach with
Oh.
the acid reflux. Holy shit.
I don't have that.
That's one alcoholic drink I will never ever try is a Bloody Mary. It sounds disgusting to me. It sounds like drinking alcoholic tomato soup, and it sounds
Do you
awful.
like tomato soup?
Not particularly.
Oh, well, if you don't like tomatoes and stuff, obviously not.
It's fine to dip like grilled cheese in, but once the grilled cheese is
I'll
done,
dip a grilled cheese in a.
After that, though, I don't want to eat
a
the rest
Bloody
of the
Mary?
soup.
I like V8 though.
I've definitely seen at a bar a Bloody Mary that comes with little tiny mini grilled cheeses on like a thing that they stuck in the top so you can like dip it.
I love every tomato thing. Think of a tomato thing, I love it. Put it in me. Chili cheese Fritos are not my favorite Fritos though. You know what are?
What?
The honey barbecue twist Fritos.
I haven't had them.
If we're not talking, I'm gonna go original. You should get the what? You would like the twisty Fritos.
I don't like barbecue flavored chips and stuff usually.
Really?
You know.
I mean, they're not like barbecue like the Lay's though. They're kind of in between regular and chili cheese, where the chili cheese has that cumin-y sort of like taco-y thing going on, and it's like I don't want to say spicy, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's kind of in between those two. It rides the line. It gets a little more of the corn sweetness in there. Beans on toast. I like beans on toast. The English kind though, with the Heinz beans and toast and a little Marmite on there. Oh yeah, that's good shit. I like Marmite.
This is a tangent, but I was just thinking about it. Have you noticed?
Everything we do is a tangent.
True. Have you noticed that the Mandalorian seems to be specifically setting up shots to be memes?
No.
Did you watch the most recent episode?
Yeah.
It seems like the minute they had Baby Yoda with the cup, they were like...
Jon Favreau is pretty in tune with this kind of thing.
You think he shot that, and he's like, this is going to be a meme.
I mean, literally, Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau are parts of this, so it makes sense. Jalapeno Fritos, Rock? I should get some jalapeno Fritos. You know what? I'm going to go get some Fritos. You like walking tacos, right? Mm-hmm. What are some things I should have for walking taco toppings? I know you just like blank, but like...
I just like meat and cheese.
I'm definitely having just corn as well. Corn on corn.
I'd put corn in there, maybe.
Corn's probably pretty good. Like taco meat.
Yeah.
Like maybe some beans.
Sure.
You a bean fan?
Not on tacos.
Well, that's where they go. That's where beans go.
I mean, you can also... There are other kinds of beans. You asked if I was a bean fan, not if I was a...
Okay, so what about beans? And like, when I say bean, what's the first thing you think of eating?
Baked bean.
Baked beans.
I said baked bean singular for some
one
reason.
Baked bean. You know what I think of? What's that show where someone eats slices of just a bean? It's a Disney movie, and it's really thin slices of just a bean. I think about that a lot for some reason.
I know what you're
Why
talking
do I think about the slicey bean a lot? I think about that a lot. It's an inordinate amount. It's not like every day. It doesn't like haunt me, but I think about that pretty regularly. Is that Dumbo?
I don't remember.
Where he has... Is it, Fun and Fancy... I don't know what that is. Jack and the Beanstalk? Mickey and the Beanstalk. The Slicey Bean?
Fun and Fancy Free was a musical thing they did. One of the early...
Look at Mickey and the Beanstalk. Mickey... Is that a little slicey bean? Man... And they, like, ration the bean. That's a euphemism in there somewhere. Ration the bean. It's like sex World War II. Ration the bean, y'all. It was in that movie?
Hold on, I'm looking.
Sounds like Great Depression era dementia.
Here's Mickey doing very thin slices of bread. Are you thinking of that?
No. That's part of it. Hold on, keep going. Is that just a GIF?
It's a GIF, yeah.
I think he slices a bean and hands it out to them. Or is it bread? Am I? It is. No, I'm not thinking of the loaf of bread. I'm thinking of the bean. That's it, right there.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. I knew the bread was, he like slices it paper thin.
Yeah.
Where you could see through it, but there's a bean in it as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. And I think he puts it on the piece of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, ration one single bean. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. That was driving me nuts.
I think I've seen that elsewhere, too. I think that's kind of a... I don't know if trope's the right word, but it's definitely an ongoing joke that multiple people have used in animation.
I think of navy beans. I don't know why.
Okay.
I didn't answer it. I didn't answer what do you think of when I say beans. So I felt the people deserved my answer. Jake, why are you thinking about the beans so often? I'm very straight. Were you having a hard time finding the bean? At first, but we worked our way through it with communication. Which is accurate to how we found that. So
honestly, I'm just gonna say this. Anyone who cannot find the clitoris is not trying at all.
How about this? Gaze upon the thing you're trying to find. Just look at it. Get a flashlight or something. You got phones with flashlights on them now. That'd be hilarious. Hold on one sec, babe. I assume his name's Tyler. Can't find it.
My clitoris is very easy to find. It looks like a penis. Sorry. I'm trying to be less crass.
That is not what...
I need to be ladylike, goddammit.
No. Whatever that word means is not what needs to happen. I'm not recording. I'm just using my flashlight. Oh, that's funny. That ain't fair. You're using hacks? This is why they sell flashlight headbands. Oh, that's perfect.
I'm like Randall's girlfriend in Clerks 2.
Does she have a penis?
No, she has a clitoris that is so large.
Oh.
It's like a penis. That's a joke in that movie. You see they're making a Clerks 3?
Just get a headlamp, says me, Groves. Well, I don't need one.
They're making a Clerks 3.
Why?
And the premise of Clerks 3 is that Randall effectively becomes Kevin Smith and starts to make Clerks 1. And it's like a meta.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I don't even care. Clerks is okay.
I like Clerks.
It's okay.
Well, it's a little independent film. It's just a fun little... The script's entertaining. It's conversational.
Yeah, it's okay. I think
some of the bits with the customers taking all the milk out and looking for, like, the date, like, that's funny. And yeah.
I think it...
I like Mallrats better.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think I like more. I think I like Dogma better than I like Clerks.
Dogma's very funny. What happened? I don't mean to disparage Kevin Smith. He seems like a very, very funny guy, especially if you ever like listened to him just talk at any.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He had a heart attack, and
yeah. But some of his more recent movies haven't been that great. Tusk I kind of like in a weird way, but it's not a good movie.
I think Tusk is supposed to be that, right?
I haven't even watched Yoga Hosers because I heard that was really bad.
I haven't seen it either. I think, I don't know, Dogma for me is a high point. I think they had, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a dirty, dirty atheist, but I like that movie.
I think most people who aren't like hardline, like even religious people would probably find Dogma pretty funny.
Chasing Amy.
Dogma's got the Jesus that we have in the opening.
Buddy Jesus. Chasing Amy, huh? I don't know if I like Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy, isn't she a lesbian in that? And he's trying.
So.
I find that to be just very questionable.
Yeah.
And it's from the '90s, so like it's a little bit of product of its time. But the fact that he's
have
like
you
trying
watched any early 2000s comedies?
I know,
recently?
but the fact that he's trying to convert a lesbian is like super.
Oh, it's Buddy Christ. You're right.
It's kind of fucking questionable. Ugh.
Like I watched Step Brothers the other day, and the brother who was the nice guy in Parks and Rec, whose name I can't remember.
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Wow, is he a problematic person in general?
I don't remember. Well, he's the villain. He's supposed to be.
I mean, yeah, he says like F slurs the whole time.
That doesn't surprise me. He's supposed to be a douchebag.
He is, and I don't know. It was just.
It's funny going to Parks and Rec because he's such a nice guy on that show.
Yeah.
He was also. I'm rewatching Boy Meets World on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Pay me, Disney.
That'd be nice.
He actually played a bully for like half a season on there too.
Jesus. Michelle Bennett. Just because I love you kids and you obviously need a sandwich. What's that supposed to mean?
I need negative sandwiches. If I could pull sandwiches out of my body, that would be. I could open a restaurant.
A very short-lived restaurant. There's not that much. Like,
I'll just eat more.
You're not like in this 600-pound life. Like,
I could make 1 week of pretty. All the sandwiches I pull out have Fritos in them, though.
That's delicious. Have you had you don't like pickles, right?
It depends. On burgers, they can be okay.
Did you try the peanut butter pickle sandwich?
No.
I mean, if you do grape jelly and Fritos, I mean...
Here's the thing. I like the taste of pickle juice more than pickles, and what I mean by that is I like to order burgers with pickles and then take the pickles off.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Because that's the amount of pickle flavor I want, but a whole pickle on there is, like, too much. Does that make sense?
Peanut butter pickle sandwiches are actually really good. It's strange.
Like, if I had a restaurant, I might just take, like, a jar of pickle brine and, like, if people want pickles, have it, but also have an option where you could, like, just get a brush and dip it and brush the burger a little bit.
Honestly, pickle brush burgers is probably a thing you could sell. Yeah. What's harder to... Wait, I missed what you said. I don't know. Have you watched The Wave on Netflix? Mm-mm. I have not.
There's so many TV shows out now. It's tough.
I pickle brined some chicken not too long ago. It was really good. Mm. I mean, my own pickle brine. It was a little too pickly. Marcel with $5 reviews. I've heard some people like to make pickle slushies. That's fucking awful. Stop it. Get some help.
Pickled chips are okay.
How to make pickle brine. So, water, vinegar, dill, garlic, salt, peppercorns, boil, little sugar, let that dissolve, and put it in something, and you basically balance the acidity with more water, and you'll find a good spot to leave it, and it won't be too hardcore, and then you have pickles. Honestly, another thing you can do is you can buy pickles, eat all the pickles, save the brine, and put other shit in there. Totally works. Although I would tend to like dump that in a thing and reboil it, but you don't have to. Dill pickles are my go-to chips. Sarah loves dill chips so much. A chocolate and jalapeno milkshake.
Supposedly, I've heard this from other trans people, specifically male to female.
The hormones make you craving?
They give you, like, because it makes you crave salt, it makes you crave pickles. I haven't had that yet. I don't know if I need to continue taking the Spiro for a certain amount of time for that to kick in, or if I'm just pickle immune. I can't tell.
Well, not every, like...
I know, not everyone's going to be the same and be affected the exact same.
You might like spicy things a little bit more.
It's worse. Since I started the hormones, for some reason, and I even talked to the doctor about this, and they said they haven't heard about this, so I don't know if it's unrelated, but my acid reflux has gotten so much worse. Like, if I eat... And, you know, the other day, it was such a... Like, last time we did Charisma Saves, I brought, like, I had Doritos and a Slim Jim.
The Slim Jim must have tore you up.
That was a terrible idea.
I don't understand opting into a Slim Jim unless I'm high.
Sometimes I just like the
meaty goop.
It's so bad. I love it. I don't know why.
Someone said we should get a Jake cooking channel. I cook occasionally on stream, so if you'd like that, then you should click that link, because. That's where it happens. I do a lot of content on there that you're missing, and if you're just like, I don't like Twitch, stop thinking that, and go like Twitch, because Twitch is very fun. Lots of really great creators over there, not just me, and I do it most nights, so you should come over. We have a very, very cool, fun chat. It's even cooler than this chat from time to time, because we have emojis. I stopped eating beef before I started smoking weed. I haven't eaten a lot of beef lately. I don't beef a lot.
I like beef.
I like beef on like Mexican foods almost exclusively. Other than that, like...
I like burgers.
See, I prefer the plant-based burgers at this point.
Okay. I like hamburger helper type stuff though too.
Mm-mm.
I know you don't like... that probably sounds gross to you. But...
Yeah. I mean, the walking taco beef, but again, that's kind of Mexican. So.
Velveeta, and you
in
like...
the worst way.
You like the Velveeta mac and cheese sometimes.
Yeah, that's like I had a box of it in my house for 9 months before I actually ate it. But
they do Velveeta hamburger helper now too, and it's pretty good. I like it better than the regular hamburger helper.
When are you gonna start boofing progesterone? It's the hot new craze. Please don't boof. Put tomatoes and real cheese in your HH. What's an HH? Hot Harambe.
That's an old meme. That meme is deader than Harambe.
I've had the other veggie burgers, Nicola, and they're not terrible. But I would rather have an Impossible Burger than a regular burger at this point, by a long shot. They're just less greasy, and their consistency is more like they still have juice to them without being like making your mouth go, look at all this fat.
Yeah.
And without having to get a super lean one that are dry. It's got a really good balance of it. Just is better than a burger, in my opinion. Please don't boof the sample of $500 whiskey I sent you, Jake, but if you do, boof it hard. Wait, you sent me a $500 whiskey sample? What the fuck? I didn't know it was that much. Like that. I know it was only a little bit. I didn't know it was like from a bougie ass bottle. Damn.
I wonder if it's cheaper to get a bunch of PO boxes and order a bunch of separate little samples and combine them.
Ooh. Marcel with $5 more dues. Do you think that during the 2020s, weed legalization will be on the federal level, even if the Republicans win the election? Yes. That's how they're going to win stuff.
Maybe. I think the Republicans are going to hold off on that for quite a while. They're still trying
10 years?
Even the
10 more years?
They're Republicans.
That's 3 elections.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if federally you can keep it. Because there's 39 states that have it legal.
The Republicans aren't going to stop their pearl clutching, especially because, and this is true on the corporate Dem side too. They're also getting,
you win libertarian centrist
they're still
votes.
Getting tons of donations from pharmaceutical companies and alcohol lobbies and stuff like that. So I don't foresee it. Democrats have a much higher chance of doing stuff on this though.
You're going to trigger chat. You got a 30-year bottle of scotch for your mom. I haven't touched it in 2 years of having it. I have all sorts of alcohol I don't drink.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a thing. I like having it around for when I want something, and then I don't really touch it that much. I don't know. Change the about page.
Yeah, I got to do that. I still have to change the banner too.
As the climate worsens, they're gonna get more far right. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like they're dying out. And, like, you're having some really, really strong pushback. But, like, even those people... Like, when TPUSA is like, whoa, racists, you are going too far. Like, I think they're having, like, a crisis?
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It's interesting to see.
I think that both parties, but I think a lot of the Republicans, they're having a fight amongst themselves within their different subsections of the party. Some are strictly fiscal conservatives who want tax breaks for the wealthy. Some of them more hinge on the social conservative side where they don't like gays or trans people or whatever.
Yep.
And I think the fiscal conservatives know that the other side makes them look bad. And then you just have batshit crazy people who, like, are Alex Jones types. Who just think everything's a fucking conspiracy and that the deep states, I don't know. We'll see.
I predicted a while ago that, like, if the Republicans want to win elections, they have to take these people and, like, Hillary-crats and absorb them into a center party. Away from those fringe social conservatives, right? And away from racists and shit.
They're not going to do
They would win so many elections in this shitty country. They would win so many elections if they just were like, I'm fiscally conservative, but also socially libertarian. They would fucking win. Are you kidding me? That's like the NFL's brand. The most popular brand on the planet is like, oh, we're conservative, patriotic bullshit, but also like it's okay. But we're not going to talk about it, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's like...
I think you put too much faith in the party to actively...
I don't have any faith in their party. I'm just saying if they wanted to win... I'm not saying they will. If they want to win, That's what they should do.
After the 2012 election, the Republican Party, the RNC, put out a post-mortem in which they said,
Yep.
we need to start moving further left, we need to be less socially conservative, or else we're going to lose the party, because demographics are changing so much and people's opinions on these things are changing so much. And look what happened in 2016. We got Donald Trump. So, I don't know.
I think that's a symptom of like social media and shit.
Maybe. 2 super chats.
Michelle! Opinion about Cenk Uygur. I think that's how you say his name. Uygur?
I'm not sure.
Running for Katie Hill's congressional seat. I think he'll lose. Not a big fan of Cenk.
Ison, I think that's how I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm guessing. Canadian $5. Heard about your transition. So happy for you and your bravery. Here is coffee on me. Old-time fan. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's literally fascistic breeding ground. Yeah, a little bit. We need 100% tax on billionaires. I'll take a 99%. Okay. That's my middle ground. 99% tax on billionaires. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I think libertarian is the new conservative. I think that's where you're headed if you want to win elections. Maybe. Be like, do whatever you want, but fiscal conservative, get your government out of my life. And that's the counter to the we need to socialize. I think that's the only, because you can't just keep going further right. You're going to start losing people because people are part of those things you hate.
If they go far enough right, they might just be like, fuck elections.
Well, I mean, that's a little bit different, but like...
They're already trying to gerrymander in such a way that elections are so in their favor that they can never lose.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that's really reasonable.
If Republicans...
Climate change has you way too... Climate change is not going to push people to make them racist.
When people get desperate, they start blaming people for very stupid things that aren't the cause of those things. Look at Germany after World War One. Mm-hmm. Their economy and everything was in shambles. People were desperate. They were looking for someone to give them an easy answer, and people look for easy answers. So in comes the Nazi Party and Hitler to fill that place. I think something similar could happen with climate change in the sense that people will get desperate, they'll look for easy answers, and someone will be like, someone like Donald Trump, but a more competent Donald Trump will come out and be like, I have the answer, and it'll be bad.
It's the Jews.
Not even necessarily that. It could be that. It could be of different groups. Climate change is going to cause mass migrations, so he's going to say, we don't want these people coming here. That's their problem, despite the fact that the first world is mostly to blame for emissions and climate change over the past 100 years or whatever. It's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I just don't think it pushes people further right.
I don't know about that.
I think it makes people extreme, but like, so I think what you're going to see is more of the argument is going to shift from climate change isn't real to how can we capitalize on climate change.
I don't know. We'll see.
I think you're going to see a housing crisis that is used for political points. 3 Angry Bears. Thoughts on upcoming British elections? As an American, the parliamentary system is fascinating, and they don't have 2-year-long campaigns. The parliamentary system is kind of stupid and kind of good at the same time. It's kind of stupid.
You could say that about literally almost any modern governmental system. I could
sure,
say.
But I mean, like, I don't like the idea of you have to vote for a party and they have to win a certain percentage to get like the seats to get the leader of the party that the party selects. I would rather you chose the leader of the party in that system.
I don't disagree, but I think that the way the American government works in theory, in the sense that you have 3 distinct branches that are supposed to check each other, true, but at the end of the day, look at what the Republicans do. They get in line behind the person who's the executive, despite the fact that it's their job to be a check on the executive.
Well, sure. That's why I think that system worked for a while, but I think that like point-based voting is probably
like ranked choice voting.
Yeah, basically. I think that's the best check to the entire system in general, specifically a two-party system. I think a really good thing to do would be to eliminate parties. But I don't know how you even accomplish that. I think that you could say, like, we're not Republicans and they'd still run as conservative people.
People are always going to form coalitions politically. That's just how politics works, because people who are best at coalition building are the ones who end up winning.
Yeah,
because that's what you need.
But I don't think... So specifically, without the Electoral College, I don't think there's a lot of reason to have them. Because that's how they win general elections, right? Because they have to get red or blue states, and you have to have a certain number of electoral points to win the seat, right? But if it's just popular vote, that means that the third person can win. Because all you have to do is is in theory, get 34% of the vote to have a perfect shot, right?
Maybe that's happened in America's past, though, and it is I advocate for more than two parties. I think the fact that we're stuck in a two-party system because of our first past the post voting system is pretty fucked. But there have been issues in the past where we did have three people running. For instance, there was an election in which
Ross Perot!
Teddy Roosevelt, I was thinking even further back, ran, and it split the vote, and the winner only got 30-something%, and it was real bad. So
yeah, single transferable vote, says Dungeon Cheese. I don't think it's a way that will get this isn't like Jake's overnight success against the bipartisan electorate or electoral system we have, where we have two parties. This is a cultural change that would lead to, over the long term, reducing the necessity to be as coalesced as that. Like, I think once you do that, you could see the Justice Dems and the regular Dems and the Republicans and the far-right Republicans spread apart. Like, you could still caucus with each other, but there's not necessarily a reason to have just an R or just a D next to your name.
I guess I get what you mean.
If you have the ability to still win a general election.
Sure, that's what ends up typically happening in like the UK and parliamentary systems,
right?
Where you have different parties that caucus.
Exactly, except it's not parliamentary in that they pick the leader.
Sure,
which is why I like it.
I get what you're saying.
So I think long term that's the answer to the two-party system. Overnight, obviously, that's not going to happen. Like, they're not going to adjust to that until they see, like, what's going to happen is sometime in our history, if we do ranked choice voting, which we ought to do soon, you would see at some point a third party win the general and get seats in the House and the Senate.
Sure.
And it would show people that, like, I can run on this specific platform and be broadly accepted for this, but maybe like in Nebraska I'm not as popular, but so they get their far right wing person or whatever to be in office. And like, while I don't want far right wing voices anywhere near our politics, I understand that some people are far right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a concession we make with democracy, which is kind of why democracy sucks dicks. But the best thing that we can do is say, okay, we're going to allow these voices to end up here, preferably not in a position where they have a lot of power, like right now, although I wouldn't consider this far right as we could get. But like, and then what we do is we advocate for education, in fact, and like, because a big reason we have the far right movements in any era is lack of information and disinformation. Lack of correct information and disinformation. So, like, when we have disinformation, like, we were not ready as a society, not even just America, just the world. We were not ready for a 4-year flip in how much information we have, right? We went from, like, America Online dial-up, and in about 4 years, we went to everyone is connected through social media.
Even between the 2012 elections and the 2016 elections, I remember
those are the 4 years I'm talking about.
A very steep difference between the amount of online conversation about these things and the depths to which these conversations take place.
And our brains are not organized to vet that kind of information. So that's why you see someone will like put out a tweet and it'll say like I don't know, pick a lie. Like, look at this police officer, did this bad thing, or look at that black guy, he just stole a thing, and then just people start pressing retweet because in the context of whatever the small clip is or a picture or something. It looks true. And then once in the comments of that, after it has 20,000 retweets, you see this isn't true and here's why. And now it's people playing catch up because they thought that, and anyone who retweeted that and looked away from Twitter for a couple hours will never know the correct answer to that. And so it's this rapid exchange of information, but false information a lot of the time, that leads to this kind of shit where now you get false information. Now there's someone peddling that information because they get paid for it. Almost exclusively, it's people that are getting paid for it, right? That are pushing this, and it happens on the left too, to a less detrimental degree, in my opinion. With stuff like, shove emerald eggs up your vagina. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of shit. Not like hate the gays. But like...
You get stuff like holistic medicine.
You absolutely get damaging stuff. Absolutely.
Holistic medicine, anti-vax people.
It's usually not the broad-reaching stuff.
Sure.
Like racism and homophobia and transphobia and stuff. But yeah, and so like, we were not prepared for it. Every year that goes by, people are starting to go like, oh, this tweet, maybe that's not true. People are getting a little more skeptical. People are starting to understand how information gets fed to them. People are starting to understand that a lot of this is propaganda for them to buy things. A lot of people are understanding that, and not just Twitter, like Facebook is like literally selling you ads from fucking Russia. Like, people are starting to really understand this. And not everybody, there's normies around, but like every year that goes by, well, the normies, like the boomers, the people that are 50 years old, like, they're not tapped into this kind of shit, and they believe a dumb fucking racist minion meme on you know what I'm saying? Like, but as this keeps moving on, I think you're going to see people that are a little more internet savvy, especially the generation behind us, where you're in your 20s and teens right now, very internet savvy and kind of understanding how to navigate a world of incredible nuance and memes. Like, a lot of things are lies on the internet, and just an inundation of constant stimuli. They're a lot more tuned for it. And I think you're going to see a correction to the sort of extreme nature of this Trump meme phenomenon, where it was like memes won an election. Let's just be, memes won a fucking election.
To an extent, I think a lot of it had to do with elderly voters.
Well, sure.
There was a myriad of factors.
But I mean, like, we see this throughout the whole, like, the Western nations in general, like Boris Johnson and stuff, like the Brexit phenomenon. Like, I don't know, like, it happened all around the same exact time. Like, everyone understands, like, 2016 shit, 2017, 2018, and 2019 is getting a little bit like we're pushing up against this we'll positivity. See. Yeah, but you're incredibly negative.
I think we're opposite sides of the same coin.
I'm not even incredibly positive. I deal with this shit literally every day.
I'm as pessimistic as you are optimistic about these things.
I do not agree.
I think that's the case.
Well, it's because you're an incredible pessimist. So you would think that any amount of optimism is not even optimism.
I don't think I'm incredibly pessimistic. I think I just see things for what they are and don't.
That's pretty much what everyone.
I suppose. I think you put too much faith in the ability of the general public to make
it's not a lot of faith.
Correct decisions.
It's not even correct decisions. It's just not extreme decisions.
I don't know.
Being extreme is a lot of effort. Like having a fucking being extreme is like real hard. Like you see these people that are like Trump supporters and they're like, I ate alone for Thanksgiving. Like, yes, because you took an extreme position without realizing it was extreme.
People like that double down. They don't learn from their mistakes. Look at someone like
my
father,
but
for instance.
It's not about saving that person. It's about other people seeing that person and going, yikes. It's never about the person engaging in that activity today. It's about the people around that person. And there just aren't a lot of people that are still banging the fucking, like, I don't know. It's a little bit different. You literally cannot leave climate change out of this. I mean, dude, calm down. Calm down. Like, climate change is obviously part of it, but it's not like it's going, again, Climate change is not going to...
I disagree.
It's not going to make people fucking...
I disagree.
Like, not be able to read words.
You're grossly mischaracterizing the argument they're making. When people get desperate and times get worse, people look for easy answers. And
of course
fascists and people with bad intentions tend to take advantage of that. People are predictable in that way.
I suppose... the downside is now people don't believe anything. I don't know if that's true either. Yeah, I just don't think... I think you're going to see a lot of people take it seriously when it starts to affect them. That's usually when people, like, when people start seeing a thing affect them directly, and they go, well, that's a thing that's happening. We should maybe address it. I guarantee you the argument's going to be about how to address it, not that we should or shouldn't.
I disagree, because
their houses are going to be underwater because they all fucking moved to Florida with their retirement fees.
Even the Trump phenomenon, I think, has a lot of its roots in people who are suffering the results of increased income, what's the word I'm looking for? Increased income, why am I blanking on the word? Disparity between the very rich and the very poor. People are not doing as well as they were 10, 20 years ago, and they're looking for a scapegoat. Trump comes in and says, it's China, well, it's the Mexicans, it's whatever.
But
and
why do I not make as much money is different than, look at that water in my house?
I don't know if it is.
I mean, it's obviously
practically speaking, I don't think it is.
From a logical perspective, but you gotta think.
But you're thinking logically. No, people don't think logically. They think
emotionally. That's what I'm saying. I know, and emotionally speaking, oh my god, it's flooding, is like a very real, tangible thing. It doesn't take politics to understand that your house is underwater.
All they're going to say is, well, there might be climate change, but it's not human caused, despite all the evidence that it is and the fact that they've been warned about this for decades. People do not change their opinions. They double down. They will say, okay, maybe I was wrong about climate change, but it definitely isn't our fault.
I just don't think that's what's going to happen.
I don't know why.
I think there'll definitely be a population of those people, for sure. Definitely a population of people that would be like, well, it's still not our fault, of course. But you're just gonna have so many boomers basically losing their fucking retirement homes, and like that's who's on these coasts.
We'll see.
It doesn't seem very reasonable, I guess. I predict most of the climate change deniers are going to immediately pivot to this is God's judgment when the repercussions happen.
That would make sense. Some people saying probably. Like, oh, see, we allowed gay marriage, we allowed trans people into their preferred bathrooms. Look at what's happening now. People look for easy scapegoat answers that already align with their views. They don't like to be challenged. I don't know.
There's definitely going to be a population of people that do that, but I don't even think the majority of people are religious at this point.
That's objectively untrue based upon the statistics we have for the United States. Most people in the United States are religious.
The last statistic I saw them rapidly declining.
In younger generations, not in
every
older
generation. People. We're almost at 50%. They're already blaming it on China. I mean, to be fair, China is part of the problem. Honestly, I think that might be a brilliant move to be like, it is man-made, but it's China, right? And then go, what's China doing? We can't do the same thing China does. No. If that's how you really want to, if you really want to manipulate the boomers.
No.
No what?
No, that's a terrible idea. You want to start another world war?
I don't want to start a war. What are they going to start a war over? Pollution?
Some stupid shit, like it always is.
They're always going to start a war, though. I don't want to start another war. I'm just saying, if you can go like, look at all that pollution. We're going to be way better than China. We're not going to pollute at all.
That's not how people think.
Sometimes it is. Well, definitely the mass migration is going to happen.
Canadian unicorn, $5.
That's who I was responding to. I guess I didn't read it.
I kind of agree with Hannah about the mass migration because of climate change. Just look at how racist it got with all the Syrian refugees.
There's going to be climate refugees, 100%, yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be way worse than Europe, though. The Arabic countries are kind of fucked.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we want to say like 10-ish more minutes?
We can.
Yeah, I just got to get up tomorrow and do stuff, so.
The U.S. is third in terms of pollution behind India and China, isn't it? I can't imagine anyone's in front of that. Yeah. I mean, we are the third largest country.
There are developing economies as well with higher populations, but...
So much for making America great again. Number 3. Yikes. Why can't we be first?
Have they talked about Elon Musk? That's come and gone. I already talked about the stupid Cybertruck.
Elon will save us. Although there is a lot of technology in carbon scrubbing that seems to be pretty promising.
I would never, if tomorrow or if in the next 10 years that became a viable solution, fantastic. I would not put any faith in because that's what conservatives do. They go, well, even if there is climate change, we'll come up with a solution. You should not continue to light matches in your burning house, assuming the firefighters will get there in time to save it.
Oh,
you know
I totally
what I mean?
agree. But I mean, I think it's a good. It's more like maybe you should gather your water pails if some guy is in his side of the apartment lighting matches in the trash can, and you're in a duplex and you're forced to live with him, and you're like, can we stop lighting matches and throwing them into the trash can? And you bang through the wall, and he goes, no, fuck you, libtard! And you hear, and he throws another one. It's best to, like, prepare for that guy to fuck up. That's kind of more what it's like. It's we would prefer not to have to use something like a carbon scrubber, but, like, we might have to if people don't fucking, like, see that there's value in living instead of, like, not living and having capital.
Even so, even if you had something like that, it would take as much energy more, I would assume, to get that stuff out of the air than it takes to get it into the air in the first place. So you're still going to have to be powering these theoretical carbon scrubber devices.
It wasn't a device. It was...
Okay, it would still take...
like a spray.
This is just like thermodynamics at work. Like, it would take more energy to suck it back out than it took to get it in there, and it's going to need energy to get the stuff produced to put into the air. And the energy used to create that stuff, by definition, if you're trying to reduce the overall carbon emissions, has to come from clean sources. Otherwise, you're just taking one step forward, 2 steps back. So you need not only solutions like that, but you need to be switching primary power production systems all around the world, from stuff like fossil fuels to clean energy to nuclear to solar to whatever.
Well, yeah, it's an airbag, not the car.
Sure.
What's your opinion on workers and consumer-owned co-ops?
I'm in favor of them.
Yeah, we've talked about them before. Most co-ops are fine.
So someone says, I heard a worst case solution is to nuke somewhere and cause a nuclear winter. Yeah, throwing particulates into the atmosphere to block sunlight. That's always worked for the denizens of planet Earth. Ask the dinosaurs.
Ask 1999's hit movie, The Matrix. If that's what you want.
Did we see Vosh's debate with Sargon? I watched the beginning, but I'll watch it at some point. No. I find listening to Sargon to be...
It was cringe.
To be unbearable. Borderline, he's so stupid.
Opinion on nuclear? I think it's probably fine.
I'm for it. I think it's right now, until we develop solar and other renewable energy technologies, nuclear is our best option for getting off of fossil fuels. It just makes sense. As long as you can dispose of it well and safely, it's great. I hate the fact that stuff like 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl fucking destroyed the image of nuclear in the eyes of dumb people who don't know how it works.
Yeah. I think it's obviously very clean energy. I think there is an argument to be made, like, people don't want that near their houses, and it does take, like, water, and it
just takes water to cool the system, though.
Mm-hmm. And it does take, while it is mostly safe, it is also devastatingly awful if it's not done right. So you gotta...
I've heard, and again, I'm not a nuclear...
You gotta make sure you do it correctly.
I'm not a nuclear engineer, so this is entirely based on things I've heard other people say, but I've heard that the newer designs and stuff are basically fail-safe, and if they do fail, it wouldn't be as catastrophic. Fukushima did happen, but I don't know specifically what that was about.
There's always extra circumstances, though. Like, I mean, what if someone intentionally tries to blow it up? You know what I mean? Like, an earthquake, a tornado, or whatever. So you just got to make sure that they're done responsibly, and as long as you can do that, then I think it's a beautiful idea. Did you hear CC's channel is ending? I did not. I thought the idea was that Vadim was going to do just switch it to Vadim.
It's kind of a bummer. I mean, I hope he still makes content. I always like creationist
What if someone nukes a nuclear power plant with a nuke? I bet it would leak nuclear material then. Yes, it definitely would. The Japanese plant was hit by a tsunami? Exactly. It's all thanks to thorium. Oh, the thorium people. For some reason, there's a. I mean, it seems like a really good method, but there's like a fan base around thorium reactors. It's fucking weird. It's very Elon-y without the cult of personality.
I disagree. I think because the Elon thing is
I don't know, they have like whole Reddits and shit.
Okay, but
it's very weird. I don't know.
The Elon stuff is based entirely in this...
No, I agree, without a cult of personality.
Weird tech bro idea of the billionaire Iron Man Tony Stark will save us.
Sure.
Which is a ridiculous,
I just think it's weird to be a fan of a scientific... chemical process, or not even chemical process, just like a
material,
yeah,
an element.
So like it's just, I don't know, it's strange.
They just think it's positive and can be used to help.
I don't know,
solve the energy crisis that we're quickly approaching.
Yes, I don't know. It's like having an oil bro. It's not that different.
There are definitely coal bro people.
It's just strange. Grimes.
Would you still date Elon knowing how much money he has? Date? No. Marry and then divorce for the money? Yes.
Coal is 1 million times more deadly than nuclear. I was misremembering my statistics. Coal is bad. Every nuke worker has to explain how hard it would be to leak? Wait, what? I don't know what that means.
They're saying that when they talk to people and they work in a nuclear power plant, they have to explain to people, like, it's not dangerous. It's very incredibly rare that something would fail and it would be catastrophic.
Like every nuke worker feels the need to do so, or they are mandated by Big Nuke.
They feel the need to do so because people are like, oh, isn't that dangerous? When they bring up what they do for a living.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Dungeon Cheese, check out VSLLIM Nuclear, super safe. I'm not joining your Reddit group. If you could require Trump to fully engage in one piece of media, what would it be and why?
Honestly, because I know he's a narcissist and nothing I put in front of him is going to actually change his opinion on anything. Just for
Barack Obama's inauguration.
Just for the science. I want him to watch Too Many Cooks, and I want to see how he reacts.
Just over and over and over, or
just once? I just want to see what he does.
Nah, he would zone out. That's too short.
No, it says he has to engage with it. I'm assuming in this he is, for some reason, it's not nighttime, he's not sundowning. He has to actually engage with it. Nah. Maybe he's told he'll get a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken at the end, and he will...
There's gotta be something else. There's gotta be something else that he could watch that could change his life forever.
No.
What's the most undeniably enjoyable thing in media? The Baby Yoda song, 24 Hours.
What's the Baby Yoda song?
Look it up. Are you too worried about COPPA at all? No.
No, not particularly. We're not specifically, if we
By the way, that's not a YouTube thing.
It's a federal government thing. But if we were a channel that produced stuff that was on the borderline between what is and is not for children, perhaps, and channels like that might have more to be concerned about. I know Dark Matter was maybe having issues with it because he does animation, but...
He was worried about it. I don't think it...
We're very clearly on the side of, like, this is not for children. None of our videos are for children, so when we have to put, like...
Right, but 18 plus is too much. Sure, we're not explicitly.
But, like... We have it set when we were asked, like, is your material for children? No, because it's not. And it wouldn't interest children even if it was. You know what I mean?
They'd be like, why are these two just talking? I want Elsa.
I want Elsa and Spider-Man poking needles into baby dolls for 7 hours.
I meant as something Trump had to engage in. Yeah, what do you mean by engage? I guess I assumed just watch?
No, engage means like he's actively absorbing the information to one extent or another. He's paying attention.
Yeah, 24 Hours of the Baby Yoda song. That'll change his life. The show has great messages for children? Sure. But, like, it's not for children. Just because children could... Like, when they say children, they mean, like... cartoon-age children, not like teenagers. No, I mean engage in watching Jake's Twitch channel. You should watch Jake's Twitch channel. It's good. You would like it. If you like what's happening now, you'd like that as well. The Y-hole was brilliant and will forever be perfect, and not for children.
Yeah.
Is there wisdom in the Y-hole?
No, there's not.
Don't defile corpses. Is it technically ebophilia if it's a corpse? That's a multi-layered joke.
I don't know if it is.
I don't know either. I actually don't know where that line...
Ebophilia is what pedophiles want you to call them when they don't specifically target 3-year-olds.
I think it's like up to 9. I don't know.
I don't know.
Or before puberty.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's a good Aesop. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. The way YouTube specifically handled what happened with COPPA was ridiculous. I mean, what are they gonna do?
Well, part of the problem...
They're certainly not going to take the onus on themselves.
No, part of the problem was YouTube was doing, like, targeted ads and stuff to kids, and you're not allowed to do that. So that's on them, but...
yeah.
It's definitely going to hurt. Like your weird YouTube bizarro Jake who does box sports, he's probably in a lot of trouble right now.
Which is fine, because he's like a McMansion-produced event, so
whatever.
He'll be fine.
He's one of those YouTubers that blew their money on some stupid rich person house, but they didn't have the money.
I don't think he bought it. I think he was putting it.
Maybe, but they certainly didn't have the money to fill it with furniture, because you see in the videos, he's like, it's an empty McMansion.
That's why I think it's literally where they film.
Like we were talking about Onision and his fucked up stuff earlier. If you'll watch anything he's done, his house is a little similar in that it looks like it's a big house, but it's not like really full of stuff. They live in like the
middle of nowhere, though.
I don't get that. Buy a house that's reasonable. Like, I could live in the house I live in now for the rest of my life and it'd be fine. It's like, it's a reasonable sized house. It's fine.
Pee-pee poo-poo-philia? Is that like little tiny poops? The thing at odds with the compost stuff is that YouTube knows the age of the user based on metadata, but they can't just stop collecting metadata on them once they're deemed. Metadata is way more valuable. Are you kidding me? Metadata on children is super important.
Well, that's the point, though. I think that was why they got in trouble in the first place, because they aren't allowed to be collecting that on children.
Right, because think about this. You have brand awareness locked into a child.
Yeah.
And you have the metadata to research, and then, YouTube is like, oh, you can integrate your Twitter and your Facebook and your other shit, your Instagram with this program, and then they share the metadata across and they sell that shit so that you can be specifically targeted by ads.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing. I don't even need to get out the red yarn for it. That's literally the business. Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's the barely legal area with teenage appearance, I think. The hebephilia, because it's really not being attracted to kids, but still shady. Kids are pre-puberty technically. I don't know, man. I just know that every time you say that lolly is grody, they're like, nah, it's not, because actually they're older. They just look younger.
We drew them exactly like a 6-year-old, but she's really 37. Yikes. It's gonna be a yikes from me, dog.
I've never bought anything because of an ad in my life. Apollo says enjoying an icy cold Coke on a hot summer's day. There's 0% chance you haven't. You would actually be very surprised how inundated with brand awareness you are when you take stock of it. Like, think about 2 pairs of shoes that look exactly the same, but one has a Nike swoosh on it, right? Like, there's something about it. It's aesthetically pleasing, and maybe it's because of brand awareness. It's probably socialized in you. Icy cold Coke coming out of an icy cooler, and it's just dripping and condensating. I want one right now. I do. I can't stop it. It's just a thing. It's like a McDonald's French fry. A fucking, I don't know. There's so many of these things. Like, do you go to the unnamed shitty smoke shop on the corner or the 7-Eleven? You know what I mean? Like, they're equidistant from your house, but you end up there more than you do at the BP.
It gives you a certain picture in your head of what a certain brand is, what it represents.
Comfortability?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Coke is sugary and nasty. Well, they have Coke Zero Sugar just for you. Do you regret coming out as transgender at all?
No.
What?
No.
Is that like a I don't know. Like, are you considering it and you're worried about it? Because you should just live your happiest life.
That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I came up to a crossroads where I was like, I can either be unhappy and lie the rest of my life, and it'll maybe be easier, because living as a cis white man is arguably much easier, but I wouldn't be happy, and I'd always be lying about who I am, or I can be open and honest about it. And it's harder, and there's a lot more work I have to do in terms of transitioning socially and medically and stuff like that, but it's for the best, because I'm at least being honest. I only have one life. I'm not going to waste it lying every day. It's just not worth it. I don't know.
Yeah. That's pretty much how I feel about everything, though. Like, there's lots of people that don't make little decisions that kind of applies to as well. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's easy for different people to do different things, but like, there's some people that be honest with people in your life, I guess, and not just about that, like literally anything. Like, if you've got a thing and it's important to you, be honest about the thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like as life altering and important as like your literal identity, it could just be like a I don't know, an attraction you have with somebody, and maybe like you've had a friend for a long time, or like you really think, you know what, I feel like, hey, wife or husband or something, this would be fun to do, and we should go do that. Go live your life. Like, I don't know. We have such a hang up, specifically in America, but in Western culture in general, with being productive over being happy.
Someone also said they clarified, I think they were talking about regret doing it publicly. Well, I do this for a living, so I didn't really have that much of a choice.
It would have been hilarious if we tossed you in the dungeon
Oh,
for a year.
but I think I came to a conclusion that, for one thing, I'm in front of the camera anyway. I think it's better for me to do this in front of people and be honest about when I'm doing it and how I'm doing it, because maybe someone out there, it'll help them. And because let's say
that's how I tried to sell it to you when you were worried about it.
Let's say I disappeared. Let's say something happened and you were just like
abducted by aliens.
No, and you were just like, okay, and you said Hugo's gone for the next 2 years. They're just gone, and then I show back up, and ideally I've lost a bunch of weight, and I'm presenting as female, and then I'm like, I'm Hannah now. That'd be fine, but it gives the impression that
it's embarrassing.
It gives the impression
taboo?
that it's something to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
It also gives the impression that it's easy and it's just last time I saw them they were like this, and now I see them like this. Whereas this, it's difficult and it's hard for me, but hopefully it can show someone out there, hey, if Hannah can do it, maybe I can do it too.
I think
I don't know.
There's also a thing, like, you specifically do not like doing hard. Not everyone likes doing hard things, of course, but you have a tendency to avoid hard things because it's hard. It's you have other shit going on, and for you to do the hardest thing is really cool.
Sure.
Right, and so I think it's I don't know, a testament to how important it is. Daniel Dykstra, mess with YouTube, switch between this and Forgotten Weapons. I don't know what you're talking about, but I appreciate you, Daniel. What does that mean? Did that mean anything to you?
I assume it's a channel that I'm unfamiliar with.
Forgotten Weapons? I don't know, but I love the fact that you're here and supporting. Boom, boom, boom. I just heard Sarah weep, so. Can't wait to come out as trans IRL. Sadly, it'll be at least a year or more. I'm sorry your situation doesn't let you do it when you feel comfortable with it, but
hold on, and just know that once you do, you will feel a lot better. And I mean, people have commented. I don't know if you've noticed, but I definitely noticed.
I've noticed?
I am a lot happier since I've come out publicly.
No.
I don't know.
Gotta love the random moans in the background. Hey, sometimes Destiny 2 raids are sexual experiences, okay? I think that's it.
Okay. I'm gonna end chat. Sorry, but I'm gonna just post it once. Here's my link to my GoFundMe if you want to help with the transition fund. It's already up to a lot, seeing as I just posted it tonight. So thank you everyone who has supported me on there. I really appreciate it. Mm-hmm. If you can't for whatever reason, I appreciate the moral support nonetheless. So thank you very much. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
GG, good stream. Big thanks, buddy. Yeah, go support. It can get expensive to do all the things.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
So yeah, stay tuned this week, patrons, for the 2 videos that will be coming out as patron exclusives.
Mm-hmm. Another video and maybe another one for regular folks.
Yeah, a Bible episode's coming out very soon, I'd imagine.
Yep.
And then whatever we do after that, I don't think we've decided yet. Maybe a movie thing. I'm not sure.
We are due for the inaugural Ask Hannah.
That's true. I guess we haven't done that.
We are due.
Okay.
Also, what was the other thing? Oh, P.O. Box.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to send Christmas presents our way, both of us like purple. I also like green, I guess. I'm feeling green right now.
I like purple. I've been seeing a lot of memes lately about, like, people who like purple. Everything needs to be purple.
I don't know why.
And I feel that.
I like purple, though. I like purple.
Purple. purple. My a lot of my dice is purple.
Yeah.
My tablet's also got a purple cover.
I don't have any purple stuff.
I like purple.
But I like purple a lot. And green. Yeah.
Someone asks alive ? Which is my D&D campaign. I know we're doing Charisma Saves Tuesday.
Yeah, we couldn't fit anything else this week.
That's fine. Maybe next week, or if not, the week after. We'll get it in. And you'll all see Stan Irving live and in person.
Yay.
If that didn't make sense, go watch.
Jake had purple hair. I did. If you want to see me dye my hair, which is happening soon, I'm probably going to do it on the internet. So go to Twitch, and that's where that happens. Mr. Rat with $5. How hungry would one have to be before considering being woken up by having warm baked beans poured into their bed? A pleasant experience. Bernie 2020.
Into the bed?
Into the bed or any bed. If it's just any bed, I'll wake up to warm beans once for the experience. That's a story.
Yeah.
Make it elaborate. Make it like a Rube Goldberg bean machine, and I'm like it flings a single bean at me.
It wouldn't be too bad on my bed because
is it a water bed?
No, I have a waterproof cover on it, specifically not for any like pee reason, but specifically because I got a what's it called? A warranty on it, and for it to be like not be void, they make me put that on there in case like someone spills something on it. Or for the jizz, I guess. Which, by the way, here's a fun fact. You want to hear about this? Before we close out?
There's nothing more I want to hear about than our respective emissions.
Okay, great. The hormones I'm on, basically shooting ghost loads.
That's probably...
God, I'm being really bad at not being crass.
That's probably... I guess I imagined that.
But yeah, it's like dry heaving with your downstairs.
So I have actually...
Still feels good.
I have actually experienced that once.
Oh.
Which I guess is a thing that can happen from time to time. When nothing comes out, and you've got cockles and a dingle dong. If nothing comes out, technically that is a point where you can do multiple orgasms, like someone with a vagoo. Didn't know that.
Can I just
would have taken advantage of that had I known at the time that was the case. But me and my partner at the time, we looked down and were like...
I cannot tell you, by the way, I didn't realize until it was no longer an issue how inconvenient it is when you orgasm and just stuff comes out of you.
Yeah.
That's so inconvenient. You gotta have a tissue or something.
No, you don't.
Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I wish at night I could take everything off and put it in a little denture cup. You gotta keep it moist. But, like, take it off and just sleep without anything down in there? Oh, yeah. Is that not...
I need to stop giving so much information about myself on these streams. I don't know why.
Hey, if you want to...
I guess it's informative. I'm not very ladylike by bringing it up, though.
What's ladylike?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be...
Demure?
I come off as less feminine if I'm...
Have you heard Sarah speak?
Well, she's got a lower bar since she's cis.
Sure, but
I have to put more effort into presenting myself in a
bullshit.
certain way.
The binary is trash. Down with gender.
I agree with you in a moral sense.
Spiritually. But in practice.
Pragmatically speaking, it's a different story.
My name's Hannah. Oh, look at my teaspoon. Oh, I'm going to walk around the town in my parasol and my dress.
Am I transitioning to Mrs. Doubtfire?
That's my idea, okay?
Okay.
That's your pish posh. Oh, I'm a lady. I'm very ladylike. You pick up this fucking Madonna English accent. Lady Hannah. Ooh, Lady Hannah. You should do a character.
Mm-hmm. That'd be a little... I don't want to step on ContraPoint's toes.
She's canceled anyway. It's fine.
Is that still just over the Buck Angel thing?
I don't even care. I don't care. I just don't care. It's whatever. Perfect mold of feminine grace. Is that a thing? Is feminine grace a thing? I think feminine grace is a myth. I've never been with a woman that didn't shit constantly.
Of course it's a myth, but it's still... And I understand that what I'm saying sounds sexist. It is sexist.
It's an aspiration
you would
like to...
We live in a relatively sexist society in the sense that there are certain perceptions of how women are, and there are certain perceptions of how men are. And in order to... I'm not gonna... Anyway.
True, though. If you do make finger sandwiches, I would actually really like some. If you get real fancy like that. Why are finger sandwiches fancy? They're just tinier sandwiches. Have you ever had a cucumber sandwich? It's a bullshit sandwich.
It's because you get to eat a lot of things.
You don't. It's just give...
I'm surprised rich people don't just eat rice all the time. Because there's so many of it.
There's so many of it. You know what? There was a really, like, when I was a little kid, I feel like I've said this in my adult life because I thought it was funny. I thought that when I saw, like, I'm going to say, like Asian people that were currently living in Asia or Southwest Asia and South Asia, I always thought that when I saw them on TV in rice patties and them being skinny was because they ate rice 1 grain at a time with chopsticks when I was like 6 years old. I thought that's why. Because I see my American portions and it's just monstrous. They just have like discipline. Isn't that fucking ridiculous? How white was I? Still that white. No. I have been separated from the lowest caste of white based on that Thanksgiving. I'm whatever's next. Existential bread. Respectfully, Hannah, but that's bull. You can be crass if you want.
I recognize I can. I just... it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Hey, you don't get to be the person you want to be, okay? More sandwich references confirm sandwich need. I definitely have transcended whatever that thing of whiteness was, yes. A bowl of rice, but each grain is individually flavored something different. You just stole Jelly Bellies. That's all you did. You just stole Jelly Bellies and made it rice. Alright, that's the end. That's the end of it. I've had enough of you people.
Alright.
Enough!
We'll see you all very soon. Thank you to everyone again who's been donating to the GoFundMe.
Okay, I can actually do it. I was going to try to slide slowly off screen, but it just wasn't working.
Until next time, I'm Hannah.
Jake! Come join that Twitch so you can watch us play Dungeons and Dragons, you fucking nerds. Will you just do it?
Language, Jake.
Language! I'm trying to eat a petifor over... Is that a food?
I don't
Petifor? A pettifor? Yeah, it's like a pastry. Thanks, Jaguari!
Night, everyone.